Even when you do good, evil always has its presence. There's that sin within all of us. When you get right, it's always watching, wait, hoping you slip up. Walking evil, time to move different, time to turn this eagle to a stool pigeon. Talk of righteousness and not a mood switching. Trying to build a house, but the tools missing. Blaming everybody, brother, you tripping. Stuck in this world, I'm through sitting. Glass dark, I need true vision. Shine in the dark world, are you kidding? Who would listen? Everybody busy sinning, that's a given. Bunch of needy children who need a whipping. I'm busy chipping away at the sin I was living. Preaching addition, but the world teaching division. Instead of the law, they teaching religion. Logic is flawed, totally fiction. Lacking our God and what he's giving. Tell me, why don't they listen? Is it the cowards now or the smooth talkers? Backsliding, moonwalkers. A coffin now is what they truly offer. Talk of money, but you never prosper. Doctors turn you into streetwalkers. Legalizing these child stalkers. The peak of iniquity's only getting taller. Brace yourself for the crumble of the dollar. Or watch and pray. That's word from the Father. And what can I say? This world is a bother. Hopefully, he's with me truly. Evil all around me. I just pray it don't consume me. I see evil all around 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 me. No blessings, 'cause I know if I do good, evil is present. I see evil all around me. 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 But you will not consume me. 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 No. Consume me. You will not consume me. No.
The mind plays tricks on me, and the devil throwing dirt from the ditch on me. These are the days finding life and alive, but we chained to the grave. I find it hard to behave. Sin in the wind got me chained like a slave. Man, I feel so betrayed, and the snake got us thinking his venom's what saves. Yeah, I see devilish ways. Ambition is a prison with a worthy inmate. I can't suffer this fate. Gotta change my esteem. Gotta clean this slate. What? But the world can't teach why. It's like the truth of the powers beneath. Blind gods in the church can't read me. I stumble in the dark that consumes and feeds. And I just can't let go. My dollar won't creflo. I can't step to the threshold and live by the place where my very last breath. But this is society. Murder is society. We love impropriety and all, but in hell do you not see the irony? It screams all around me. The sleep try to drown me. I ain't dying in the agony. I'm not gonna pour my own soul in this concrete. But hopefully, the Father's with me truly. I see evil all around me. I just pray it don't consume.
I see evil all around me. 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 No blessings, 'cause I know if I do good, evil is present. I see evil all around me. 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 But you will not consume me. 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 No.
So that explains for all of them times I thought I was by myself. I felt eyeballs on my back and then turned around and wasn't nobody there. It was evil. It was all around me. looking for entrance, trying to pull me away from a higher and make me believe that's independence. And any way you try to go, it'll be there waiting for you. Sit. Job 9:24, the earth giving over to the wicked. But wait a minute, I know I just seen something run past my side vision. Am I tripping? Father, keep sending me your holy word. I'm listening. Yeah, Malachi chapter 3 and 6. While you're high, you remain the way he is, so that we can copy and mimic this and not get consumed with various sin. Cause this crazy world that we living in, they ought to be godless. So it's commandments we can get rid of them. Stop trying to defile us. Who are you to tell me I shouldn't do what my God told me? As for me and my house, read Joshua 24:15. But hopefully the Father is with me truly. I see evil all around me. I just pray it don't consume me.
I see evil all around. 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 Cause I know if I do good, evil expression. I see evil all around. 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 But you will not consume me. Count my blessings, my blessings, cause I know if I consume me, you will not consume me. You will not consume me.
Just trying to endure and never fall,
You will not
You know how that goes. Your 7 Calibot. Malachi 3 and 6. For I am thy power of high. I change not. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed.
La maldad me rodea en todo tiempo, pero el Todopoderoso me librará de todo mal.
You will not consume me. Your mind is playing tricks on you, and the devil is throwing dirt. Hey, why do I hear the real me?
Don't put that in it.
The silly days, them silly days, ain't it? Oh, there's a glare. It's my aura right there. Yikes. Wait a minute. Wait. Or maybe I should just leave the angelic glare, huh? No. All right. Back down to earth, right? Back down to earth. It ain't time yet. It's coming though. It'll be here soon enough, right? Yes. Anointed and appointed and double dipped in the Father's ointment, it's your brother Bronze, for another Sabbath. Shabbat Shalom, you beautiful people of the love out there who's texting, the beautiful people of the love and of the covenant and mama's children and all that good stuff, right? Right? Whatever happened to Nadar? Oh man, It's been a Nadar type of week. We've been talking about Nadar all week. Elder Nadar, right? My big Ock, man, Will, right? Uh, he got ousted. You know, I mean, what happens is you get done wrong, and it's like, man, this world, it forgives the one who tearing you up, right? Because it's just how they are. And they messed up. And everybody knows it. And they be giving them passes for all of the crazy stuff they want to do to you, right? But you have a different persona, right? And a different character that everybody always expects out of you. And the little thing you do, they make it that big, you know? And that's what happened to our brother Will, man, our brother Elder Nadar, right? What had happened with him is money problems, man. Richard wouldn't take the money from him, you know, from the church. He was, you know, doing some things with the money. And he kept telling his brother to put all the money in his personal bank account. And he like, man, wait a minute. I'm going to have to explain that. I'm not doing that, right? You sending me into a crazy tax bracket that I'm really not in. You're going to get me in trouble, you know? So he start refusing to put the money in his personal bank account, right? And he was just holding on to it. And he couldn't even get in touch with Richard to have him collect it or say what to do with it or whatever, you know. And that's how he used to do people. A lot of elders have complained about that. I can't reach this guy. I can't talk to this guy, right? I've been trying. I've been trying for months and months to get in touch with this guy. I can't get a word with this guy. And he be leaving his bishops and elders and stuff, the people who are running his churches, and leaving them without a word and not speaking to them and stuff, you know? So they do all of this crazy stuff in his absence and in his silence, and then they end up in all kind of trouble, right? Hold on. Hold on. Humble law keeper. Whose messages you delete? We got a heckler, right? When you're going to start healing people with your Holy Spirit powers right now. We already healing, baby. We healing the heart and we healing the vessel through the diet. You know? Come on, bring that. Lie every day about everything, not dropping dead. Real Holy Spirit is gone. Oh, we got a blasphemer. We're all going to meet him, right? Longer than hell. Hell lasted 40 years. Okay, we got a crazy man. Bless you, my brother. May the Holy Spirit forgive you for what you said. You don't know what you're saying, right? Who knows what you're dealing with and what you own? I don't know his situation, you know. Oh nah, you didn't overstep, sis. Do it again. Keep doing what you're doing, humble law keeper. Keep doing what you're doing. But I did go back and read it. You know, Bob Smith. That's a fake name, right? But yeah, I did want to, see that stuff. Glory to the Most High. We welcome them. We help. We welcome demons, right? Oh, we doing the healing, brother. We doing the healing. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Uh, yeah, but that's what happened with Elder Nadar, though. And there's a video out. Let me see if I can find it. See if I can find it. Yes, there. This is what happened to Elder Nadar, brother Mark. Right? He went on vocab Malone. He was doing this Christian thing, and he stepped out of that to step in here. Him and Richard go back. You know, they started Light and Body Church together, and they started the Light and Body Church together. And you know, they parted ways, and different things happened and whatnot. You know, and you know, when he got back in touch with Richard, I guess, got back in touch with Richard. Richard made him an elder real quick, put him over us in California. He was in California, right? He was in California. So Richard put him over this body, right? And he did a wonderful job. He was a wonderful elder. The church thrived while he was here. Beautiful servant in the Most High, right? We were very close. This is him. That's Elder Nadar right there, Brother Will. And he's going to tell his whole story. If you click on that YouTube link right there, you might want to just click on it and save it and watch it later. Or you could watch it ahead, bone out from me. I'll be here. You know, this video will be here whenever you're ready for it. You know, this is the 177, the fruit and the work, right? And we're going to get into that on this Sabbath. It's a little late. I apologize. Right? Generator was tripping. I got home. I tried to fire everything up and jump on here. And my generator would not stay on. So I had to maintenance it, do some things with it and things. And, you know, and that took a little while. And I do apologize about that. But it is the Sabbath. And it is a beautiful Sabbath. I like to go to Ezekiel 20 and 12 for our Sabbath, right? Ezekiel 20 and 12. Moreover, I gave them my Sabbaths. What does it mean to get a Sabbath from the Lord, right? To be a sign between me and them. So it's the Sabbath that binds us as the children of Israel to the heavens, to the Most High, right? That they might know that I am the Lord that sanctify them. So if you're breaking the Sabbath, you are not the children of the Lord. If you don't receive and perform the sign of him, right? The sign between him and us, that's out the window. What else is out the window? That they might know that I am the Lord. Then you don't know he's the Lord then. And what's the last point? That sanctify them. Then he has not sanctified you. You see all of what's riding on this Sabbath? If you fooling around with that, you all kind of crazy, okay? You are out of your mind, okay? That's all that you thrown in the trash, right? If you're playing with the Most High Sabbath. And I just love to go to Ezekiel 20 and 12 when it's the Sabbath and we're here having a conversation, right? Another tonic, apple-based. This is an apple-based tonic. Apple cinnamon sticks. Ooh, it be hitting, y'all. Right? Hit it with the oregano. Hit it with the parsley. Hit it with the cloves. Hit it with the ginger. I hit it with the ginger and I hit it with the turmeric. When the black pepper always goes with the turmeric, as we talked about. And I think that's it, ain't it? Honey, little bit of honey, little bit, right? The honey coats the inside of you and it makes stuff stick on the inside of you, as otherwise it'll just go through you, right? And just rest in your stomach. But when you mix it up with the honey makes it stick all to the inside of you and just stick on the lining of your inner body, right? Your esophagus and all of that and all your pipes inside of you, it'll coat that. It just coats it and it stays there instead of just running down. You know what I'm saying? And the nutrients and the minerals and stuff, you know, the medicinal purposes, you know, inside of this stuff, it gets to stick all in there and just cling to the walls of your inner body and just heal you with the honey, right? So that's why I put the honey in there. Now, the honey ain't too sweet, you know. When you got all of that going on, it's gonna take a lot of honey before you start tasting the sweet stuff, you know, that the fake sugar usually give you, right? You know, that sugar is fake and concentrated. You use 2 teaspoons and it's super sweet, right? It ain't like that when you're dealing with honey and agave and stuff like that, you know? And then we still just using a little bit of that. So, you know, it's health, y'all. Health is wealth. Okay? Wealth ain't wealth because you can't spend it if you dead, right? Health is wealth. Okay? Glory be unto the Most High in Him alone, right? But yeah, we cannot play with this Sabbath, right? What we also can't play with is fruit. What is the fruit? The fruit is an outcome of a thing, right? Your fruit, The deal is sealed. It's over. Con, it's time to do what is nourishing and beautiful and tender, right? And delicate and dainty, you know? Ah, that's the fruit, right? Oh my goodness, man. Everything is not fruit, okay? I like to make this analogy where, say you got oranges, okay? You got oranges, you got grapes, you know, things like this came out of the field. You know, you take it, you peel your orange, you bite it, it's juicy, right? It tastes good, it nourishes you. You know, you was weak before you bit it. Say you waited till lunchtime to bite this orange, right? Oh man, you done already got in 4 5 hours of work, hard labor in the field, and then you was finally able to sit on the tailgate of that truck, right, and bust that orange and crunch. You know, oh, it's juicy, it's dripping off your chin, like you know what I mean. Oh man, it's delicious, ain't it? It's nourishing your body that's been hella working, right? That's the fruit, family. Now, the work is what went in to that fruit, right? What went in to that fruit? What happened? You had to have the field, first of all. If you don't have no field, ain't gonna be no fruit, right? So what is that? You working on somebody else's field before you get your own field, right? You got to get the land first. Then you got to get the seeds. Then you got to make sure you got water, right? You got to dig a well. Well could be 100 feet, 200 feet to start with, right? I had dug a well one time. It was 700 and some. We dug it in a drought. So it was like we was never hitting water, right? Oh man, that was like a $30,000 well, right? With old D Tray. You know what I mean? He caked off of us, right? But that was a deep well. The deepest you usually gonna need to go to hit water in a well is about 300, 400 feet. Unless you dig it in a drought, right? So it was a drought, and we just kept digging and digging and digging. I would have on that land. That was my first piece of land. I'm on my third piece of land now. That was the first piece, right? So, and it had that deep well on it. Okay, on that land, I would have never hit a drought, right? When everybody else would have been running out at they 300-400 feet, I would have had double that to still go because I had almost 800 feet of water, right? Oh man, and I was excited about that. And I was saying, man, Israel gonna have water, okay? Everybody gonna be out of water. We gonna still have ours, right? With that deep well. But all praise to the Most High. You know, you gotta have your land first. Second, after you got the land, you gotta have water. Now, if you don't got no well, guess what they're doing? They're bringing water from far. And guess what? Water is heavy, y'all. Water is heavy, you know? And how much water you gonna need to water a field? And say you just did it once. Say you brought enough to water your whole field once. And that's a whole bunch of water, y'all. We're talking trucks. Y'all see how difficult that is if you don't have a well? And that's only once. You got to do this, you know? as much as possible. You're supposed to water your crops every day, right? But when you're dealing with water like that, you're gonna skip some days, right? Yes, yes, yes. You see how difficult that is, but that's after you done planted your seeds, then you gotta water, you know, you gotta get your seeds. You gotta figure out what you're planting. A whole bunch of pruning goes into it, a whole bunch of back-breaking work, a whole bunch of waking up at 4 a.m., a whole bunch of hirelings, That's Issachar's thing, mostly be working the fields, you know. Uh, Got to hire a lot of people. Costs a lot of money, takes a lot of time. How many months are they working that field before they finally get fruit, right? Something that actually you can hold in your hand with some seeds in it, right? With some juice in it. Con? Yes, yes, yes. Oh, a lot goes into getting that fruit, you know, and that's work, and that's fruit, and that's how we gauge everything. This Bible is comparing everything to that process that I just explained, right? Work equals fruit. Fruit is the outcome of labor, right? Shout out to everybody that's talking about the work, the work, the work, the work. Whatever you call the work, answer me this. What is the fruit? What is the fruit? Okay? Look at every congregation. I don't care which one it is. Look at every single camp. Okay? With all of its members. Look at every single congregation that you know and all of the work they do, right? And ask yourself, what is the fruit? Where is the fruit? How do we determine what the fruit is, right? And they all would say, no, shut up, Bronze, please. Don't talk about this, right? They would have a whole lot to say. Why are you doing this? Why are you talking about that? Why are you worried about this? Why are you critiquing this? If you could do it better, do it better. I'm doing it better because I understand what this is. I'm going to make this real plain to you guys this Sabbath. Okay? What is fruit and what is work? Right? Let's jump off the boat and start swimming. Right? James 5:5, if you want to meet me there. That's the first place I'm going to be going. Right? That's the first place I'm going to be going. Right? It's the first place I'm going to be going. It's the first place I'm going to be going, breaking down what work and fruit is. James 5:5. And it says, ye have lived in pleasure on earth, right? We have lived in pleasure on earth, y'all. Enjoying things, right? Enjoying things that we love. That's our pleasures. Whatever we want to do, whatever we want to have, or at least whatever is in our means, right? Which is most things, which is a lot of things. You might not get the things that you dreaming of, but I mean, most of that stuff that you desire, you're reaching it, right? And been wanting. When you got it, it was like, right? Once you got it, your attitude changed towards it, right? To be wanton is to be haughty, right? Is to be haughty, HAUGHTY, and it means to have a certain level of an obnoxiousness, right? And a cockiness, and a rebelliousness, about your mentality, to be kind of lawless. What you want is more important than anything else, is what it means to be wanton, right? Ye have nourished your hearts. Now, this is talking about the wicked heart, right? This ain't talking about everything that our heart is capable of. This is talking about the wicked heart, right? This is talking about the Jeremiah 17:9 heart right here, right? As in the day of slaughter, because that's what you're heading at. This is murder and death right here, right? All of this type stuff, that pleasure, that wantonness, right? And that wicked heart is going to lead to a slaughter. You might as well be a cow walking into the slaughterhouse, right? Big and plump and ready to be cut, right? Verse 6, ye have condemned and killed the just, right? That's what we spent that time doing. That's what we did with that pleasure and that wantonness and that evil heart, right? That was preparing us for slaughter. We condemned and killed the just. Guess who did that? Some people whom you love and place over all, right? And guess who they condemned and killed? Some people who you didn't care much for. That's why it didn't mean nothing to you, right? But guess what? Those people, they meant everything to the Most High. They were his servants, and they were purer than the people that you put up on these pedestals, right? Yes, yes, yes. And he doeth not resist you, right? So the Most High not going to raise up off of them. He own them. That's what that means. And he does not resist you. He's not going to resist them. He going to get them, right? Verse 7, be patient, therefore. So us who understand the Most High and who on the right side of him, y'all be patient. What is patient? That's one of the fruits, y'all. That's the long suffering and the temperance part of the fruit, right? Yes, yes, yes. 7, be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord, right? When is the Lord coming? Is it talking about when he cracked the sky? No, it's not talking about then. It's talking about when he comes back in his mother, right? He said in John 16, when you pray for me, I'm going to send my mom, right? And he said, therefore I come. We read that before, right? Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely. That's when he's coming back unto the coming of the Lord. That's the first way. That's the first way he's going to come back in his mother. When we cry for him, he's going to send her, according to John 16, right? Be patient, therefore. What are we being patient for? We being patient for mama, y'all. Behold, the husbandman waited. See, he's still going to be waiting. Even after the coming of mama, right? The husbandman waited for his precious what? Fruit. That's what he's waiting for. The fruit. Right? It's not the fruit when he come back and kill everything. Nah, there's a pre-fruit. What is that? When he send his mother back. Y'all, John chapter 16. ain't it? Luke chapter 12 and all that, right? The husbandman waiteth for his precious fruit of the earth, no, of heaven, no, of the earth, right? It's talking about now, y'all. We're here now, and has long patience for it. Oh, he's just letting us work this, right? Luke 7:35, her children justifying her, working her in the earth. He's patient for that, right? He has long patience for it until he receiveth what? The early and later rain, right? He's talking to us in our ignorance. What's the early rain? That's when mama comes and we work her, right? What's the latter rain? The latter rain is when, okay, let's go get my children. Let's go subdue the earth, right? That's the latter rain. On the other side of that, he gets his 1,000 years where he sits in for the Most High and he rules for 1,000 years, right? That's the later rain. And then he gonna move out the way and let the Most High take over. Con? Yes, yes, yes. Verse 8, be ye also patient, right? And do what? What are we doing while we're being patient? Establish your hearts. Establish your hearts. You know what that is. If you've been here and you've been locked in with us, you already know. See, you don't need me anymore. You can read your Bible and you understand it like you never have, right? Be ye also patient. Why? When it say be ye also patient, that means it's going to give us another reason why we should be patient on top of the reason that it just gave us, right? It's going to give us another reason. Be ye also patient, right? Establish your hearts. How do you establish your heart? Love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance, right? That's how you establish your heart. How is your heart? Do you know what to feel? Do you know how to treat people? Do you know how to talk to people? Do you know when you should be going in your pocket for an act of charity? Do you know when to open doors, right? Do you know when to commit these acts of kindness, right? Do you know when to lift somebody up when they down? Do you know that? How many people do that, y'all? Not a lot of people. Everybody is not getting their 9 divine. Okay? They're not getting their divine 9 in line. Everybody ain't on that. Just mama's children. Why? Because Luke 7:35, she is justified by them. You know, that's how we perform her. Verse 9 is going to tell us this stuff we should not be doing. Okay? Verse 9, grudge not against another. Okay? Don't have no grudges, family. Okay? Brethren, lest ye be condemned. If you have a grudge against somebody, you're gonna be condemned. Are we reading this? So tell me again, right, that these 9 and this Holy Spirit and performing this whole law is not trespassing against brothers and sisters. Tell me that again. Keep thinking the law is doing something else and trying to accomplish something else in this earth. Keep thinking that. Because this verse 9 right here say, grudge not one against another. Okay? Bickering, fighting, right? Brethren, lest ye be condemned. Behold, the judge standeth at the door. That's why you shouldn't do it. What's standing at the door? He's standing in the doorway and you acting a fool in the house. You don't even see him standing there. He's just standing in the doorway, just what y'all don't even know that he done popped up on the porch and now he's looking in the house, standing at the porch, right? And just watching y'all try to tear, right? Trying to tear each other's guts out, right? What would you do if you looked in your house and seen your sons trying to tear each other's guts out, laying all over the place, bleeding at the mouth, furniture destroyed, everything upside down? That's what I was talking about in the 100 bars, y'all. This right here. Grudge not against another, right? Grudge not one against another, brethren, lest ye be condemned. He's condemning people for this. Behold means watch close, pay attention, behold, right? The judge. Who is the judge? Christ. He's the one who's going to come and give us what we deserve, right? I come and my reward is with me, right? The judge standeth before the door. Yikes. You ever did that? You ever thought your parents was gone and you was going to get extra mannish and act up and you was doing your thing and you was having fun acting up? You was having the time of your life acting up, right? And then you looked up in the doorway. I remember I did that. I was in kindergarten, right? I was in kindergarten. Nah, it was preschool. It was pre-K, before kindergarten started, right? And sometimes I used to look up and my mom would be in the door to pick me up, right? And they would come and just fold their arms against the wall for a good 5-10 minutes while the teacher wrap up and let all the kids go, right? I'm acting a fool. And I look up and my mom is there. That's what this remind me of, right? Verse 10, take, brethren, the prophets who have spoken in the name of the Lord for an example of suffering affliction, right? And of patience. Look at all the prophets and what all the prophets was going through. And we know how important they were to the Most High, don't we? Yeah, they were very important. So if we seen them going through all of what they was going through, consider what those who wasn't prophets, right? Man, they probably going through more than the prophets. Right? Verse 11, behold, we count them happy. Here's the fruit of the Spirit, which endure. Okay? Now you're happy. If you can do that, if you can endure, if you can last, and you're happy while you're doing it, right? Ye have heard of the patience of Job. Remember what Job went through? You ain't going through that, huh? All your animals, all your crop, all your kids, everybody got killed, right? Remember the patience of Job. You ain't going through that, are you? All praise to the Most High. He has seen the end of the Lord, right? That the Lord is very pitiful. Eventually, he's going to feel sorry for you if you put yourself in a position for him to feel sorry. And what does his feeling sorry equal? And of tender mercy. And we talked about that. One of these last, either it was the last one or it was the one before that, we spoke of. That's what we want. That's what we trying to get to, is the Father's mercy. Oh, that sounds so light, isn't it? For him to be pitiful and of tender mercy. Oh, that just sounds like he just, okay, I accept your apology. I accept your apology, right? That's what that sounds like. No. That makes his pitiful and tender mercy, understand that it makes you eligible for every reward, okay? That's access to everything that belongs to the Father. You are in right with all of everything he promises. You're in right with that. If he gives you his pity and his mercy, okay? Yikes. There is no in between with him, right? He gonna bless you heavily or he's gonna condemn you. Now we saw what condemns you, right? Back in verse 9, grudging, okay? Having grudges, because he's not having grudges, right? He's forgiving people and things like that and giving people a break. Now, who are you? An earthling that can't cut a break. Oh, you gonna hold a grudge, huh? Oh, he got beef. He got beef with you right there, right? But that's in verse 9 right there. That grudge is getting you condemned by the judge who's standing in the door. He's watching you. He's watching you misbehave, right? Yes, yes, yes. Now, in verse 11, we gonna count them joy, right? Who endure. What is the endure? Take a deep breath in, blow it out. Instead of flipping out, flashing, crashing out, right? What is that? Temperance, fam. Long suffering. It's one of the fruits. Love, joy, peace. That's number 4. Love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance, right? Number 4 and 9. Fruits 4 and 9. What's the difference between them? Right? Long suffering, that's, man, you just sitting through it, right? You're sitting through it. You can't get up and flip out, flash, right? You got a long tolerance in sitting there, right? When things ain't going right. Temperance is you know how to act, period. You know? Ain't nobody gonna catch you acting crazy, you know, either way, you know? When you should be jumping up and down, you temper it, you know? You're gonna cool back, right? You don't even see something good go your way and just fly all out, right? Because it may not be that long, you know? It may only be that for a minute. Now here you done showed all out, made a big old fool of yourself, and then things turned again and went bad again. You know, you don't look too smart when that happens to you. So even when things go your way, you still gotta kind of chill and relax and just let things play out, right? James 3 and 15, where we gonna meet at next. You know, so temperance is this way and that way, right? Temperance is also you know how to act when things are going bad. You know how to jump in there and use wisdom and shut things down and make things happen, or you know, sometimes things need to be shut down, sometimes things need to be pushed forward and made to happen, right? Yes, yes, yes. So that is what that is. You know, that's the difference between long suffering and temperance. They are not the same thing, they're quite different, right? And they are fruit. If you have those, you're going to save a lot of lives, yours and others. Okay? It's very important. Those are 2 fruits of this spirit of the Holy Spirit of Mama of the Kakamawa, right? Yes, yes, yes. Of them 9 fruits. Okay? James 3 and 15. It tells us this wisdom Wisdom, y'all, mama, the 9 fruits, the kakama, okay? The fruits of the Spirit, okay? Fruits of what Spirit? The Holy Spirit, fam, right? This wisdom descendeth from above. What is that? Christ sending her back, y'all. That's what she gonna do. She gonna ascend from above, right? John chapter 16, when she comes in as the Spirit of truth and all of that, right? And the work and the fruit, right? She's going to mean all of that for her. She's going to mean all of that for us. We're going to work her, and she's going to deliver. She's going to produce unto us fruit, right? This fruit is going to make us eligible for the Most High in Christ to shut this earth down, right? And stop all of our pain and suffering that we doing in this flesh in this earth. That's what's going to make us spiritual beings, right? We're operating the fruit of the Spirit. That's what's going to make them say, okay, come on up out of that flesh. Your spirit is ready, right? And he's doing that with us one by one as we leave this earth. That's where we go, y'all. Oh, we go feel great in the Spirit. And the time is going to come where he's going to do that with the whole earth. He going to give this whole earth going to be dead, okay? And into that better kingdom, y'all. That's the kingdom we all fighting for in all of this, right? James 3:15, the wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly, right? Sensual, devilish, okay? That's the one that's not ours, okay? 6, for where envying and strife is. You see that? Ain't been none of that on our side. You see us getting into it. I ain't jealous of nobody, y'all, and I don't like strife. Okay? I hate strife, right? There is confusion in every evil work. Confusion. Why? You're lacking a 9. Okay? She is wisdom. She is what knows and what's smart and what understands everything. She's understanding and all of that, right? When when do you start seeing all of that understanding and things? When you're looking at love, joy, peace, long suffering. When you're looking at somebody who has all of that, it's because they understand the plane and what's going on with everything, right? This is not a puzzled person. When you see all of that love, know that you're not looking at somebody who ain't standing there and don't understand nothing, okay? They understand everything when you see that love and that temperance and all of that stuff, and you wonder why they ain't tearing the room up, because they have understanding. They know what's going on. They understand what's unfolding. They understand what's unfolding before them, right? You see that? You see how it's starting to tie together and how wisdom is this whole law. Check this guy out. He's envying. He wants strife, right? For where envying and strife is. When you see somebody jealous and envious, right? What's coming next? Strife. He wants to fight. He needs an enemy to do that. Okay? He has somebody to direct all of this anger at, right? This envious, jealous man. Anytime you see strife, either he feels like I'm so big, you should never oppose me or make me uncomfortable, or you're going to pay. You're going to catch this strife, right? What else is it? You're bigger than me, and I'm tired of you being bigger than me. I think I'm better than you or just as good, and I'm tired of you little broing me around, right? And that's envying, right? And things like that. And you step in there and you start flashing. You start showing them, right? why you think you're bigger and badder than them, right? And this is strife, y'all. And this is void of the Most High. You have to void the Most High in order to do that, right? And I had a mouthful of everything when I jumped off the boat. I wasn't talking about that stuff before he came out on me, was I? Nah, I wasn't tripping. We was getting things together. So don't try to take this and apply this to me. And I didn't leave the church because of no strife or nothing. They was trying to make me disclose a reason, and it wasn't one. It really wasn't, you know? That's the only way they know how to part from somebody is through strife, right? But I didn't have no bone to strive with them about, you know? But they was gonna give me one. Right? Yes, yes, yes. There is confusion in every evil work. Okay, now if there's confusion there, what are you lacking? The understanding that I was just talking about, that, the loving man has, the temperate man has, the long suffering man. You ain't got none of that if there's confusion there, right? And if there's confusion there, you don't know right from wrong. So what you're going to end up doing? Every evil work. Every evil work is what you're going to end up doing, and that's what Satan loves. You understand that? So that's why Satan don't want you wrapping your mind around your nine. He don't want you even knowing about that, right? Because then you ain't going to fall for none of this envying and strife and confusion and the evil work. And you know what I mean? It's devilish and sensual and earthly. And you know what I'm saying? The opposite of the wisdom that descended from above and all of this, right? James 3:17, right? But the wisdom that is from above now, okay? The stuff that Christ is going to send back, and you tell me if y'all have seen it prominent in the earth, right? You tell me if you have seen it been prominent in the earth. Everybody's fighting, right? Everybody's going to handle it the same way when they offended, ain't they? They going to do the exact same thing, ain't they? When they offended, oh, it's time to get busy. It's up, right? And if it's up, then it's stuck, right? They ready to go in. Let's go. Right? It's go time, right? 17, but the wisdom that is from above now. What is it? It's first pure. What is pure? Single. One. What is one? Ah. What is I? The Most High, right? That means it's coming from Him. Anything pure is single. It's the number one, the I. The head, the highest, the father, the strongest, right? And all of that. It's attached to him. It's coming from him. It's descending from him. Look at that. That's one. It ain't this, for, it ain't that. It's single. It's one way. It's one way. It is what it says it is. It's not saying, "Hey, I'm pure. I'm pure as white and snow," right? And then you peel the snow off and it's black up under there in dirt. It's a piece of dirt wrapped in snow. No, now it just became two, right? You some junk on the inside, something different. That's one. And then you got your outer shell, right, that looks good for us. That's two. That's too many. That's not pure. Okay? That's two ingredients when you said you were one. What is that? You're also a liar. Okay? Okay? And that's what a lot of these guys did. They got one persona in front of that camera and you think that's who they are, right? And then we're able to bring it out on phone calls and things where somebody that you don't even recognize, right? You don't even recognize them talking to somebody and how they dealing with somebody behind closed doors and all of that, right? Is that the same person? Like you like tripping, like, man, that don't sound like the guy that's always showing teeth in front of the camera, right? I have a lot of turmeric. I have a lot of turmeric in this tonic, right? But verse 17, but the wisdom that come from above is first pure. And what else is it? Peaceable. These are fruits of the spirit, y'all, right? Peaceable, love, joy. It's number 3, peaceable. What else? Gentle, love, joy, peace, long suffering. Gentleness, okay? Number 5, and easy to be entreated. You know, it's easy to satisfy and keep in line and to make do what you need to be done. If it's something that's working for you in performing a task, that means it ain't gonna take much maintenance, right, to get it to perform, right? Easy to be entreated. Just drop a little oil in it and it's gonna be all right, right? Full of mercy. Oh man, man, man. Full of mercy. Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, I should be mad about that, but nah, I ain't tripping. It's all good. I ain't worried about it. Right? Yes, yes, yes. Mercy. And what? And full of good what? There's all of them right there. Full of good fruit. Without partiality. What's partiality? Favoritism. Okay? Wishy-washy. Cool with you today, got a problem with you tomorrow. You don't even know what you did. Like, hold on, brother, what's wrong? You know? Partiality, wishy-washy, right? Cool today, not tomorrow, right? Picking something over you all the time, you know? Can't be trusted with his own word, you know? Oh, I'm this way. And then you please him with that. Oh, no, I'm not that way. I'm this way. Like, man, you just told me you was this way. That's partiality, being partial, right? Pieces and parts. Now I know in part, right? Yeah, that's why they're like that. You know? They don't know how they gonna feel tomorrow. So they latch on to one thing with all they might because they want their way so bad that they hit everything in an adamant, posture. And then tomorrow is something else. Man, that's a hypocrite, man. Partiality, right? Without partiality and without what? Without hypocrisy. Same thing. Partiality and hypocrisy is two forms, right, of the same thing. You know, partiality is, you know, hypocrisy towards others. Now, hypocrisy is hypocrisy towards yourself, okay? Towards you, right? Partiality, that's against other people, but hypocrisy is personal, right? Verse 18, and the fruit of righteousness is sown in what? Love, joy, peace. Number 3, right? In of them that do what? Maketh peace, right? So the fruit of righteousness is sown. The fruit of righteousness, mama, okay, is sown. What is sown? She's planted in what? In peace of them who do what? Who make peace. So if you're into making peace, then peace is going to be sown in you, right? We reap what we sow, right? So sow peace and you will receive peace, right? What is peace? Personal. It ain't for nobody else, okay? It's how good you feel. Y'all see that? Peace is personal. Like y'all be thinking just because I address these scorpions and stuff out here and I deal with these different attacks and things like that, right? What has to come out, you guys may think it sounds like strife, right? I be so peaceful, y'all, even as I deal with that stuff. I'm not even feeling it. I'm not feeling any different about these guys or nothing while I talk about these guys, right? Peace is personal, y'all. 18. And the fruit of righteousness is sown in them, right? And the fruit of righteousness is sown in the peace of them, right? That make peace, right? Zechariah chapter 8. We're going to go Zechariah chapter 8 and 9, in verse 9. That's where we're going to go next, right? So if you want peace, you got to make peace and you got to sow peace out there. And you can't be hypocritical. You got to be one way. If you tell somebody something, when they catch up with you, they should see you performing that. They shouldn't come around the corner and you doing something else than you stood on the last time they saw you, right? Partiality, it's the same thing. You know, you got to treat the person you like the same way you treat the person that you don't like, and vice versa, right? It don't matter how much you like them. If you just went off on somebody else that you didn't like about doing some bull, then you're going to have to stick to that when somebody that you like, you catch them doing the same thing, right? And what is that? Good fruit, y'all. Them is good fruits with an S. Okay? And what is that? To be full of mercy and to be easy, to be entreated, right? So what are you? How does that look, right? In your behavior, you're gonna be gentle. You're gonna be gentle, fam, and peaceable and pure. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, that's so beautiful. I hope you spit your book to Zechariah chapter 8, because we about to get it, right? We about to jump out the window and hit the ground running, right? We about to jump off the patio and do an army roll and go into battle, okay? Yes, yes, yes. Ducking and bucking, okay? Zechariah 8 and 9. We going into war, y'all. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, let your hands be strong, right? Ye that hear in these days these words by my mouth. What is that? Everything Christ brought. Who is the mouth? Christ. Everything I sent into the earth by my son, right? By the mouth of what? Before he came and walked, how was he getting into the earth? By the prophets, right? By the mouth of the prophets, and then he came to fulfill what the prophets were saying, right? Yes, yes, yes. Next parenthesis or the next comma, which were in the day that the foundation of the house of the Lord of hosts was laid. We know what the foundation of the house of the Lord is, right? Which were in the day that the foundation of the house of the Lord of hosts was laid. Okay? That the temple might be built. What is that? Israel. Okay? That's who got his temples and set up his temples and things, right? Solomon and all that, right? Which were in the day of the foundation of the house of the Lord of hosts was laid, right? That the temple might be built. Okay, Solomon's first temple. Okay, yes, yes, yes. 10. For before these days, there was no hire for man. Okay, I didn't want nobody working for me. Ye shall not be a priest to me, ain't it? Nor any hire for beasts, right? Wasn't nothing for the beast, right? Neither was there any peace to him that went out or came in, right? Anybody who was dead, anybody who was born or died, right? Why? Because of affliction, he had turned his face from us, right? Yes, yes, yes. Before Solomon started building them temples, remember he flooded the earth and all of that. That's what he's talking about. And it was a rough time for everybody, you know, even leading up to the flood. It was the worst time the earth has seen at that time, right? That's the affliction that he's talking about, right? For I set all man, everyone against his neighbor. And ain't that what was going on? He said he did that, right? Them fallen angels came down and taught war. They taught how to make a sword in a little sharp shank, right? They taught how to make breastplates, you know, body armor. And they taught how to make the shield. And men went to war everywhere, you know. It was mass people killing each other, you know, genocide, totally. It was a rough time, right? Verse 11, but now, okay, now I will not be unto the residue of this people, right? So we are the residue of that people. Who? The people who came out of Noah, right? Ham, Shem, and Japheth, and those three nations populated this earth, right? But there's a few people in there, which he calls a residue or a remnant, that he's going to do what? Of this people, as in the former days. Like in the old days, I'm going to restore these people, right? Saith the Lord of hosts. How is he going to restore us, y'all? Verse 12, for the seed shall be prosperous. That's how, right? That ain't affliction right there, huh? If you're prosperous, yeah. And the vine shall give her fruit. He's prophesying it, y'all. That ain't been. It never was. When he forgave us for what happened from Noah's time, when he flooded the earth and he started it over and he brought us on back up, he never showed us the fruit, y'all. Nothing good happened. We came back. Ham got in trouble, right, for what he had going on with Noah, right, and whatnot. You know, the fallen angels came right back. He destroyed their bodies, but their spirits were still here. That's when we get the evil spirits, right? Where? What fruit? They ain't into fruit. They're in the Enoch chapter 15, the opposite of all of this, right? To fight and, you know, have a short temper and be short fused and getting down when you're mad at, right? And hurl the insults and do the war and do the do the unalivings, and you know what I mean? And all of this type thing here. Okay? That's what them fallen angels brought. So we go into an era that they tear the earth up, right? Now Judah is in all kind of trouble, is he not? Judah's in all kind of trouble, right? The northern kingdom done got kicked off from out of there. They went into Assyrian captivity, right? So they're gone out of the land. Judah trying to hold it down itself, but he's a sinner too and all messed up, right? And then the Greeks surround, right, Masada, and you know what I mean, and dig a trench and starve them out, and they eating their babies, and you know, all of this happened, right? Man, where was the fruit? The ones that got away, that listened to Christ and got away, they're in Africa, you know. hiding and running. Africans giving them up. You know what I'm saying? Arabics giving them up. Everybody is turning brews in uh, to the slave ships, right? Who uh, was being funded by the Khazars, who was trying to steal our identity, right? They had a plan to get rid of us so they could be the guys with the big black hats and the curls coming down the side, and you know what I mean, and all black, and you know, the Zephyr or the Revelation 2 and 9, Revelation 3 and 9s, so they could be them, right? Man, where was the fruit? What we do then? We come across the water, come to the Americas. Oh man, is that fruit on the slave ships? Nah, that wasn't fruit right there, huh? What about when we got on the plantation and we getting beaten, hung, and worked to the bone, right? Cotton fields, cotton and peas, right? Picking out in the field corn, right? All of the stuff that they came up with uh, on Wall Street, right? In the stock markets and stuff, you know? We were slaves in the field getting them that stuff that they was bargaining with on Wall Street, right? Oh, corn is up this high, and you know, gold was up here. We was working that stuff too. We was mining the gold out, you know, we was doing all of that. Whatever, you know what I mean? We was building the White House. You know, we did all. Jacob is the former of all things, and the kingdom is within him. Okay? He has everything in his hands to build a kingdom, but he won't build one for himself. Why? It's telling us. It's telling us why. Because wouldn't be no fruit for us. That's why. Fruit was for the other people of the land. Didn't he say we would plant a vineyard and not get to eat the fruit thereof? Right? So this is when we get our fruit, when that Holy Spirit comes, because Christ sent her back, right? Right? These are the conversations that are starting what's going to morph in the earth as this fruit being back here. Now, y'all see what we're doing? Yikes. Oh, man, I was so messed up, y'all, when I realized what was going on and who we were and what it was our job to do and what me visiting the Sapphire and everything was about, y'all. Oh, it messed me up, y'all. Okay? 12. Okay? For the seed shall be prosperous. Now that seed is planted, is prosperous. It has blossomed, right? We have fruit now, right? The vine shall give her fruit. That's what this is talking about, y'all. And the ground shall give her increase. It's going to be everywhere. What is that? That's our vineyards, y'all. It's synonymous. They match each other. What's going on in our souls is going to be going on in our fields too. Right? That's this plant vineyards I'm all crazy about. Right? And you know, I start repping plant vineyards before I tied all of this together. That's coming out of there, y'all. I didn't know what I was talking about. Plant vineyards, right? I just know I wanted to eat some food. It turns out this whole Bible is about this, y'all. Okay? That's work and fruit. Talk to me about that work. Oh, you don't got those works, huh? All of the fruit that fell from their tree is getting ready to just, oh! Where did he go? Look down. Look down the hole. That's how we look down the hole, right? If they don't get on these, what fruit? Where? It's rotten, okay? It's rotten, y'all. 12. For the seed shall be prosperous. Can't call that seed prosperous if it produces rotten fruit, y'all. And their fruit shall remain. We're going to read that. We're going to read it, right? For the seed shall be prosperous. The vine shall give her fruit. The ground, right? Okay? Vines are not on the ground. You got to hang vines, right? You hang those. It's a lot of stuff that grow on vines. A lot of fruit with seeds, right? Grapes, tomatoes, cucumbers and stuff be hanging out, right? A lot of stuff, y'all. A lot of stuff hangs down. Fruit, And the ground shall give her increase. That's the stuff growing up out the floor, right? And the ground shall give her increase. And the heavens shall give her dew. That's her coming down. She's coming down. Ain't that what dew do? And settles. When you wake up in the morning, you come out before that sun starts shining, you might see, the frost that's on your grass and stuff, and then that sun peeks out and everything starts steaming, right? That's your dew. That's that morning dew. But what does that have to do? It has to descend, right? It has to come on down. And that's talking about Christ sending mama back, y'all. And the heavens shall give their due, and I will cause the remnant, that's us, ye shall be put out of the synagogues, right? So it ain't the big, busy, bumping, banging synagogue with all of those thousands and thousands of people, right? No, we talking the remnant here. We are the few that was going to receive mama and justify her, okay? You understand who you are, okay? I will cause the remnant, me and you, okay, of this people to possess what? All things. Understand who I am and who you are. We're going to spread these farms. We're going to be rich, y'all, okay? That harvest, when you got a few acres and you harvest that, it's in the millions, okay? You're going to hit the 250,000, right? You're going to hit the 250,000, but guess what? You still got more crop. You double that. You're halfway in. You're 500,000. Guess what? You're getting two harvests this season. Your second one just popped up, right? So you hit it with the third quarter, right? But the second half of that ain't done ripen yet, right? So you at the 750, and then that last ripe hit, boom, and you pull that out, and you get your money for that, y'all, right? Your Ak not far away, he doing the same thing, We all coming together, putting our heads together, putting our fruits together, right? We flourishing in physical fruit and the fruit of the heart and the fruit of the mind. Y'all see that? It's over. Ain't no more struggling now. That's how the children of Israel comes up out of our poverty, y'all. We are farmers, okay? And we get back to that. That's how we started. We started as farmers. We get back to farmers. And guess what else happens in that? The guy who asks, where's the healing? That's where the healing is at. It don't matter if you eat in McDonald's once or twice a week. If you filling up off of the food in your field the rest of the days of the week, oh man, you're gonna be all right. You're gonna be in good health, right? That's what we're lacking. We don't have our field food, and the rest of this junk is unalive in us, right? Oh, we getting so much together in this. You understand this? right? Verse 13, and it shall come to pass. What shall come and go, right? What shall we see come, and then it's going to become normal, and then it's going to go out the window again, right? What shall come and pass, right? That as ye were a curse among the heathen. That's gone. We ain't no curse among the heathen no more, right? Oh, house of Judah. That's who he's saying this to. Just in case you had it mixed up who he was talking to or talking about. Oh, house of Judah. Who is that? Benjamin, Judah, and Levi. Okay? The West Indies, the Haitian, and the African American. Okay? With this skin and this hair. Okay? That's the house of Judah. And the house of who else? The house of Israel. Who is the house of Israel? That's the name that the northern kingdom started going after, right? The Mexicans, the Puerto Ricans, the Dominicans, the Cubans, the Native American Indians, all of the islanders, right? The Hawaiians, Samoans, Guamanians, Filipinos, right? All of those. Con? Yes, yes, yes. The Spanish, the people who took on uh, these nationalities, right? That's who. You know, the Colombians, okay? The Seminoles, right? Yes, yes, yes. That's who, okay? O house of Israel, the northern tribes, okay? Usually lighter skinned with a dark, wavy hair, right? Right? A straight hair, too, you know? So will I save you. So he's going to save them. How? Don't we look like we need saving today? We don't need no saving today, huh? Yes, we need to be rescued, fam. We on the bottom getting stepped on. We can't eat. You know, we got to fight to eat and pay the rent. You know what I mean? We getting slaughtered in the streets. You know, we're the sickest people. Wherever people are sick at, you're going to go in there and we're going to dominate it. Okay? We're dominating the prison houses. Okay? We're dominating all of that. We need to be saved. We're going to hot lava, right? We're dying in our sins. You see that? Yeah, we need to be saved in every sense of the word we do. And ye shall be a blessing. Okay? So not only shall we be saved, but guess what we're going to do? That's talking about us trailing the Gentiles with us that will be saved, right? And ye shall be a blessing to others also. Fear not, but let your hands be strong. Get to work. That's the work, okay? To get to what? The fruit, okay? For the seed shall be prosperous, okay? The vine shall give her fruit, the ground shall give her increase, right? The heaven shall give their due, right? I will cause the remnant of this people to possess all things, including those people. You see that? Including the people that you're going to be a blessing to. So it ain't no captivity to where, they hate life. No, you're a blessing to them, right? Fear not. None of y'all be scared. But let your hands be strong, though. Don't be scared, but get busy. But get busy. Psalm chapter 1 from the top. Next place we gonna go. Y'all understand that? That's fruit and work, y'all. Okay? Stop letting them tell you that they getting busy and they doing major work. No, they not. This is work. How is your fruit turning out? Okay? Where's your fruit turning out? And they're gone, y'all. I wish I could disclose it. I can't. Especially not on the Sabbath, I can't, right? But there's a certain congregation out there. That bad boy is gone, y'all. It went under at the end of 2025, okay? We got the paperwork. We got it, y'all. We ain't released it yet, but we're gonna. It's over. It's a wrap, y'all. It's done. I told y'all. I told you, man. So all of y'all big bad jumping up against us and all of that in defense, of certain organizations and whatnot, you guys are going to be really sad when this information comes out, right? Your joint is done, okay? It got revoked. You don't have the right to operate anymore legally in the states, okay? You got to close down. You got to go into hiding. Yikes. Yikes. You're going to get in trouble, okay? For trying to keep it thriving. You got to go like us now. Going under. It's done. Right? It's over. So talk to me about works. What works? This is works. We're going to show what work is. Okay? If your work ain't got that, you in trouble. Psalm 1 from the top. The beginning of King David's songs, right? Songs, psalms, same word, okay? Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. They shall put you out of the synagogues, right? Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel. There's a whole bunch of counseling going on, ain't it? That's the counsel of the ungodly. Nor standeth in the way of sinners. Okay? What is it to stand in the way of a sinner? If the sinners stand here, you better not be standing there. That's what that means. Stand in the way, right? Stand in the path of, if there's a path full of sinners, you better not be in it, right? Nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. What is it to sit in the seat of the scornful? Wherever scorn people sit down at, that's where you sit down at and be scornful, right? What is it to scorn? That's to roll over on these nine and hurt people's feelings, okay? To scorn folks. That's what a scorner is, and that's what it is to be scornful. Tell me again that this ain't the whole law in every sin, y'all. Yikes. Verse 2, but his delight, hold on. What is his light? What is his delight in? And his delight is in the law of the Lord. And in his law does he meditate day and night, right? Day and night, you're trying to figure out how to not roll over on the brethren. That's how important this needs to be to y'all, fam. It needs to be very important, right? Very important. You got to meditate in the law day and night. You got to open them first 5 books of Moses and understand every command, right? And if you do that, how I have, you will never deny that the whole law is those, right? Is them 9. That's what they are, okay? Verse 3, and he shall be like what? Like a tree. He shall be like a tree. What is a tree? It's planted. Boom. It's planted in the ground, ain't it? A tree is planted in the ground, but this one, guess where it's planted? It's planted by the rivers of water, y'all. So, if you know about trees and roots, they go underground and they travel, okay? They travel, y'all. So, water soaks through the ground, right? I'm out here on dirt. Sometimes when it rains, we get water that thick, right? But when it stops raining, that ground, it will drink that water and it'll be dry again, right? The ground drinks water. But guess what? If you're this tree planted by the river, it's nonstop. You know, that ground is just drinking water, constantly drinking it, drinking it, drinking it. And that's another wonder of the Lord. These bodies of water. Okay. Uh, we don't understand where the water keeps coming from. Okay. The water just right. And that, what is that? Of the kings of the east, right? The Euphrates shall dry up. Look how thin the Euphrates is today. It's like a little river now. It used to be a big body of water, right? Now it used to be this wide. Now it's like a little strip going through there, right? So that the way of the kings of the east may be made, right? That's in Revelations. All of a sudden, he stopped that water coming from wherever it comes from to keep a river full and a body of water full, right? All of a sudden, he just stops that water from coming from wherever it comes from, and then things dry up. Not where this tree is planted. It's planted by a river. Its tentacles, its roots is stretching under the ground, and it's going up under there, and it gets to constantly drink, 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 drink from the bottom of that body of water, right? Yikes. That bringeth forth fruit in its season. So when it's season for it to be producing and ripen, oh, the fruit is abundant, right? That's you and me that bring it forth. That's the only fruit, y'all. If you're not bringing forth the fruit of the spirit, the divine nine, it is not fruit. You better find something else to call it. It's not that. So I don't care how many people you have in your congregation. If you're not teaching them those, what do you have? It's a gamble. And you're going to get to the end of the line. You're going to get to the end of the line, which was what? 1 Corinthians chapter 13. That's where everything is weighed, right? You did all of these great things. Guess what you didn't have? You had not charity, mama. Okay? Love. That's the first one off the top smoking. Love, joy, peace. But it starts at that love, right? Love, the word love and charity is interchangeable. Love is the most important one of your nine, okay? It starts and feeds all your other eight, okay? But you got to have that love and that charity first, okay? We get that in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, okay? So it's a gamble. You don't know who has it because they don't talk about it. They didn't even know they had it, right? They didn't know that they had it. Now, since I've been back talking this, we're tying the ends together, right? We're connecting these dots, and we understand what the fruit of the Spirit is. We understand what our divine nine is. We understand what wisdom is. We understand what the Holy Spirit is. We understand what the Kamawaf is. We understand what the truth is that shall make us free in John chapter 8, right? We understand what Christ said he was going to leave and send back in John chapter 16, right? and all of this. Y'all see that? Yikes. Yes, yes, yes. Woo! It's over, y'all. Game over. We figured it out. We figured it out, Hashatan. Right? The Father poured one into the heavens and taught him the doctrine. Okay? It's over, y'all. But do you see that? You see how they're going to step up? Oh, man. A lot of them were very nice. A lot of them were very diligent. A lot of them did a lot of work. A lot of them did a whole lot of stuff, right? A lot of them would have even went in their pocket if you needed it bad enough, right? Yeah, they gave up their goods to feed the poor. They did all of that. But guess what? And had not charity. How can you do all of that and still have not charity? Why? Because you didn't have your divine nine in line. That's why. You didn't have them all. You didn't have her. You wasn't a child of mama. You wasn't one of the Luke 7:35 that went around through the earth justifying her. You wasn't a part of this. That's why, because you wasn't part of the body that was put out of the synagogues. That's why. At the top of Mama's chapter, right? Christ sits his children, us, he sits us down and said, listen, I'm going to tell you this so that you don't be offended, right? So that you don't see all of these things go wrong and give up. That's offended, right? Offense. You know, victim of an offense, right? So you don't error, okay? Christ sat his children down, you know, and said, I'm going to tell you this so that you don't be offended. And then that verse 2 starts off and says what? They shall put you out of the synagogues, right? Yikes. That's who you gotta be, okay? In order to line up with this. Verse 3, and he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that shall bring forth fruit in his season. What's the season? When Christ sent her back. So it ain't gonna work. Yeah, we had some works in there, but were they scarce? The people who was doing what we're up to, the things that we have made prominent and prevalent, nah, you got sprinkles of it here and there. That's not a season, y'all. That's you getting lucky, something popping out. Oh, you get all excited. Whoa, I got a few nuts, you know? Nah, this is abundant. This is planted by the river here that we talking about, right? And then the season comes. Oh, that's so much fruit, and bring it forth its fruit. And guess what? His leaf also shall not wither. It never turns brown and crumble. This leaf. What is that? That's your work lasting, y'all. That's your work, my work, okay? Being of the divine nine, standing any test. Take them over. Take them over to the 1 Corinthians chapter 13. I bet you they ace it, okay? We the ones. We are the ones. Please do understand it. Understand what time this is. You don't think it's me and you? How long you gonna wait? No, it's going down right now. We are them. You will be waiting forever. You'll never see them. This is it, y'all. Me and you. Right? Me and you. Your mama and your cousin too. Right? Us. Right? The Luke 7:35ers. Okay? That's who we are. The justifiers. Right? Of mama. That's who. That's who. Okay? Yikes. What's in the last comma? And whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. Right? That's us, y'all. Y'all ever notice the stuff I came out talking about? It all came true in less than a year. Y'all didn't see that, huh? Y'all wasn't watching for that, huh? Y'all see that? Yikes, y'all. Yikes. Okay? Verse 4, the ungodly are not so. Let's flip the coin on the other side. They got to shut their stuff down. They're in trouble with the IRS and all of this, right? They getting audited and investigated and all of that, right? Got their nonprofit revoked at the end of last year. They didn't get renewed, right? So they about to be an illegal congregation, okay? I told y'all, man, it was over. I told you what was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen this fast, though. I thought we had at least like 5 years or something like that. Woo, the Most High is not playing. He done sped this thing up. It's happening quick, y'all. They ain't planted by no river. The ungodly are not so, but are like the shaft. What is shaft? It's dry, right? It's not heavy. It's no nutrients in it. There's no juice in that. It's all dried out. And if you do it like that, it'll just crumble in the dust, right? That's the shaft, y'all. The stuff that come off of your corn and you throw it to the side, it'll lay over there and just turn brown and just crumple up, right? That's what it means, right? That's what shaft does. But are like shaft, which the wind, it can't stand nothing. When the wind blows, it's just gonna blow away. Now, when that wind blows, what is the wind? That's mama. That's saying we're gonna come. They're blowing away because of us. Possessing mama. She's wind, y'all. H7307 in your Strongs. You're gonna see that one of those it's also wind. It's also the breath of life. It's what went into us and brought us alive, right? She is the energy that makes alive. Wind, breath. It's the same air. It's the same air. That's the Holy Spirit, y'all. That's mama. So when she does that, that shaft is just going to scatter and just go blowing down the field, right? And if you don't chase it, you'll lose it. You won't know where it's at because the wind is just going to blow it away, right? You ain't going to be able to keep up with it. Good luck trying to keep up with it. The wind is going to blow it. You could chase it all you want. The wind is going to take it up in the air like an airplane. It's going to be gone. Who is that? All of these jokers. And that's why they acting like we ain't even over here talking. Oh, they hate it. They hate it. But I bet you they watch. I bet you they watch. Okay? You can't stop it. You can't save yourself. We ain't doing nothing but growing. Okay? We just growing. Right? But the ungodly are not so, but are like the shaft, which the wind, which mama driveth away. Right? Woo, 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 woo. Right? Verse 5. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment. Ain't that what I'm talking about? Let's put your fruit before 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and see if they stand. That's the judgment, y'all. 1 Corinthians chapter 13 is the judgment, okay? And it's telling them all these great things you know how to do without charity ain't gonna cut it. But guess what? They're not teaching. They don't even mention that over there when they bringing out their billion lessons, okay? I'm just trying to have you understand the state of where this world stands with God, y'all. You understand who we are now and what we got back here with from the sapphire is powerful, y'all. It's end day prophecy. It's last day understanding, y'all. It's last day understanding. It's what shuts us down. You know? Yikes. Yikes. Therefore, the ungodly shall shall not stand in the judgment. Check this out. Nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. So I know we got put out of the synagogues. Was we getting put out of the synagogues, or was they getting put out of this? Okay? Because we are the congregation of the righteous. Okay? The prophecies show it. Okay? What we're talking about show it. Okay? What happened to me shows it. Okay? I took one night and died twice. Okay? And got this and came back talking it a little bit at a time. It increased as we, went on. It increased as we went on, but it manifested, did it not? When did I get that? Right? I wasn't talking like this before July 21st of 2023. No, I was not. I had to go get that. Understand what's happening before you, or keep looking at me and looking at a pathetic brother who you don't trust and who ain't nothing, right? Looking at your brothers and sisters with hate in your heart, can't believe that the Most High would choose one of us, right? And give us all that the Most High has given us, y'all, to shut the earth down. Go ahead, keep sitting there with your hands in your lap, right? Not latching on to your divine nine or becoming one of mama's children, right? In Luke 7:35, who go out and justify her, you wasting a whole lot of time. You see that? And you ain't gonna be a part of this when it's time to reap these fruits, okay? We planting the seeds and watering and working right now, right? And we're spreading the fruit of her, okay? Love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, and temperance. We're spreading that every day, okay? Every day. But man, that should alarm you. Nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. That shows you it's talking about the fruit of your church, okay? I'm not far-fetching this. I'm not pulling a rabbit out of my hat. That tree planted by the river is a congregation, y'all. The fruit that's coming off of them are the people that they're producing, the souls. What's in those souls? Are they arrogant, right? Or are they charitable hearts? Do they give to the poor and needy, right? Are they coming together on corners serving sandwiches, right? Are they picking people up off the ground and giving them something to live for? Are they doing that? Are they reaching out to each other, spreading gifts like it's Purim or something, right? Are they doing those things? Are they people of the love? Are they the people of charity, right? Are they the people of these divine nine, right? Do their conversations sound like this? When they talk to each other, are they talking about these fruit, right? Fruit, have the fruit coming out of their mouth, okay? Fruit speaks fruit. What is that? You're full of fruit, right? It's juicy. It tastes like fruit, okay? It looks like fruit, and if you bite into it, it's fruit on the inside too. Those, okay? Understand what's happening. Understand what's going on. Or don't. I'm going to just keep talking. I'm going to keep bringing it out of different parts of this book the way I've been doing, right? It don't stop, y'all. We got a whole Bible of this. We have a whole Bible of this vineyard, okay? The whole Bible is a vineyard. What is that? Fruit, y'all's mama is the Holy Spirit. This is the Holy Spirit's book. I know you thought it was Christ's book. I know you thought it was the Most High's book. No, it's their mother and wife's book, okay? The Holy Spirit. That's the only spirit that's going to get you up out of here. We're going to have fun with the Most High and Christ's spirit, you know? They're more masculine spirits and things like this. They're coming to do war. They're coming to make you shut up, okay? When you fail her, right? That's why John 10:16, he showed you and told you to be sheep in the midst of wolves, right? Wise as serpents, Harmless. That's why he told you that stuff. Harmless as doves. That's why he told you that. Did you listen? Or was you a warrior? Right? And a big heart, right? He gonna have to break you down because you're doing that over the top of his wife and their mother, right? That's who you big and bad over. Right? That's right. You know, that's who you're doing all of that over. And Christ is going to be mad when he gets back. He's going to take you in the valley of Jehoshaphat and he's going to deal with you about that. Okay? Yes, yes, yes. Now, feminine me that. Okay? Effeminate. Use that word with that. Okay? No, I'm a mama's boy. Okay? Verse 6, for the Lord knoweth the way, the path of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly, it shall perish. It's temporary. They're going down the drain right now. You're looking at them. You're seeing them do it. They're going down the drain right in front of your face. Con? Right in front of you, right before you. Right? I knew a lot of things. I knew the wickedness that was done. I knew the other warships. I knew all of that stuff. I didn't know how it was going to end. I didn't know how it was going to go under. Now I know how it's happened. It's already done. It's already happened. Right? It happened last year. It was over. Okay? Now I understand. Right? Matthew chapter 7 and 15. That's where we're going next. Matthew chapter 7 and 15. Guys. Oh man, what's happened? What done happened? Oh man. Mm-hmm. Quit playing. Stop fooling around, ain't it? Better get with it. Shout out to everybody who will be at the Passover. Okay? Some nuts. All right. Matthew 7 and 15. Let's go. Watch how this starts. This is talking about one time in the duration of the earth. It's talking about one era. Not an era like if you make an era, but an era like a time, a certain time in the scheme of time, right? Beware of the false prophet. And they're all false. Ask me how I know. And I'll tell you, because I'm the real one. I'm the real one, y'all. I'm the one that the heavens chose to do this, right? The one that the heavens told to say something. Heaven didn't tell these guys to say nothing, y'all. And then guess what? Their fruit is no good. They got to come through us. They got to come get it from us, right? And they made it ugly like that, saying that. They were saying things like this. All of them, you notice, all of them would say this. All of them would say that if you ain't getting it from us, blah, blah. And Satan knew that someday the real one would have to say that. I'm the only one should have been saying that, right? Or else let's judge these fruit, y'all. Let's judge the men and women that come from them. Okay? Let's judge the men and women that come from the people who are to be compared. You know? If they don't compare men to men, we're not comparing men. We're comparing fruit. Okay? We're preparing fruit. Okay? We can do that. We're not comparing men, we're comparing fruit. Guess what else is comparing fruit? This, y'all. Listen to these words. This passage starts with beware of the false prophet. How are you going to know that false prophet? Which come to you in sheep's clothing. He's going to be dressed like a sheep. He's going to look like a sheep. But what? But inwardly they are ravening wolves. Right? Tell me more about this ravening wolf. He's something else on the inside, right? He has some other things tucked inside of him that hides, and it comes out, right? And when it comes out, it's bad for everyone. It's a catastrophe, right? 16, ye shall know them by their fruits. That's how you know them. That's how you're going to know this false prophet who is in sheep clothing, right? But inside, he's a ravening wolf. You're going to be able to look at the fruit. What fruit? His 9. Is his 9 divine? And is it in line? No. He be tripping and stuff, flashing, lying on people, right? Snapping on people. He's mean, right? He hurts feelings. Right? You cried to him, you cried real tears, and he's unfazed. He's still stone face, right? To your tears, no compassion, right? Mhm. That's his personal 9. So, guess what? That's what tree he is. Guess what's gonna fall off of that tree? His fruit. Ye shall know him by his fruit. Look at his fruit. When they get under pressure, they came out here, they smashed on us, y'all, threatened us and everything. Talked about who they was gonna call and how they could shut somebody up, and like went in, it went straight gangster, okay? Went in, Every time they approached us, they was gangster. Came in, called us sissies and all kind of stuff. Oh, you know, you shall know them by their fruits. Kicked in doors on us. We was looking at the door get kicked in like, yo, what's up? Everything all right? No, this and that, blah, blah. Vulgarness, right? What we do? Fruits, y'all. Calm. Is that right? Let's talk about it. Trying to reason with them and stuff. That's the example that I have, right? Gotta bring it out. Period. 16, you shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns? When the grape harvest is done, do you go out there and come back with thorns and leave your fruit out there to rot? No. You're gonna come back with them grapes, right? Who is that? The real prophet, okay? How a false prophet go out there in the field of fruit and come back with thorns? That's a malfunction, y'all. That's what it's telling you. He's a bad shepherd. He went out, he collected bad fruit. Mean people, okay? People can't tell you the first thing about how to go do some charitable acts, right? Sister Lee video, somebody came in there and blamed her, another sister. came in there and talked bad about it. Well, you was stupid. I would have been this and that. I would have took my 380 out, right? A woman said she would have took her 380 and smoked her husband and called Lee stupid and all kind of other names for not doing that. I just put my face in my hands, y'all. Oh my goodness. Oh, yikes, right? Yikes. And that's the fruit, y'all. Okay? That's the other option that you have if you refuse this, okay? Mhm. Now, see, Sister Lee, that's fruit. What was she doing? Getting beat on for a year and a half, waiting for a counsel. Why? Because she didn't want to leave her husband. They was telling her to stay. Wait a minute. Let us get you in this counsel. Don't leave your husband. But he's beating me, right? Well, just sit it out, sister. Keep doing what you've been doing. We gonna get you in there, right? Yeah, she could have bumped out, left. Man, that's a soldier, y'all. Stayed there getting beat, y'all. Okay? While her council dates kept getting pushed back, pushed back, pushed back for a year and a half? You know? It's a good sister, man. It's a good-hearted sister. She could have did all kind of stuff. Yeah, she could have took 380, smoked him. She ain't got that kind of heart. She didn't gonna shoot her husband, right? She ain't gonna run off because they told her, hey, stay home. We're gonna do this, blah, blah. Right? Trips to the hospital, IVs. Y'all seen it. Y'all seen all the pictures. Y'all seen how her weight was changing. Y'all seen how hairdos was changing. This was over time, y'all. That's fruit right there. Okay? Yes, yes, yes. Right? Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns and figs of thistles? Thistles is dry sticks, right? That come off of your figs, you know? It's related to you dealing with your figs, thistles, sticks. You know, it's not the fruit, it's the stuff around the fruit, right? Thistles. Nah, we want the figs. Okay? 17. Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit. If it's a good tree, it's going to bring forth good fruit. Okay? That's why church ain't doing nothing. They out there talking about, man, church produce the worst people in, the people coming out of church is worse than the people in the world. They saying that out there, you know, because there was no match for evil. They get in there and declare war on that evil, and the evil just tear them up, right? Because they don't know. All they got to do is lean on those. These, you ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't even gonna offend people, right? You know? This is what has to happen for people to get right. What I'm talking about, right? I'm talking about what's gonna fix you. Yeah, it don't feel good. It's gonna burn you up, burn you out, especially if you don't ever got no plans on obeying it. But for us who are looking for our way, this is the way out. Yikes. To be good fruit and to produce good fruit. Everything that fall off of you as a tree is going to be good, edible, and juicy and sweet. And all of this, full of substance, right? Yes, yes, yes. Full of nutrients, going to nurture you back to health. Ain't it? Yes, yes, yes. Oh, man, that's why my diet was that, right? Couldn't do the steaks and the burgers and the pizzas, and they couldn't come out doing it. I wouldn't have made it, y'all. And those people who you heard come back, they were saved and then they went right back out, I was supposed to do that too. I was supposed to come back, get a good month, and he went down. He went down this time, y'all. He ain't coming back. He's gone. Your Ak is gone, y'all. Right? But you didn't hear that, did you? 3 years later, baby. We 3 years later now. You know? Why? Fruit. Fruit saved my life, y'all. That's what it was. You see this? But every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, y'all. But a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. It's talking about people, y'all. The tree is the congregation. The fruit is the people coming off of that tree, right? That congregation. That's what this is talking about, all right? Understand your book. Verse 18, a good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, okay? So if I'm sitting here preaching these 9 to you, you're going to get them. You're going to go, you're going to make them do what they do. We're not going to fail. You're going to tell us that, right? Our tree shall remain. Our fruit shall remain and never die. It's going to tell us that, right? You guys, you're going to pass the test of 1 Corinthians chapter 13. When they weigh your charity against all of the other great things you know how to do, it's going to match up, right? Because you was on that. You was on that. You was about doing that in your life, you know? And all they're doing is learning how to be mad at us and how to hate us. Y'all better get off of that. But what would they have to do? Even their fruit would understand, hey, you got us on what Bronze is talking about, huh? They would even notice when the speech start changing slowly. They trying to come out with it, right? They filling up big videos, right? Filling up basketball gyms, filling up the bleachers, big signs, fruit of the spirit, right? They trying to act like they, oh yeah, we on this too, you know? At the same time, while they ignore us over here and act like it's not stemming from that, they're going to try to steal it. Nah, you're saying it, but you ain't living that. Okay? Wow. With what Maestro brought out, it's horrible, man. You know, what was done when it was time to walk the fruits, it don't match, right? Right. Shout out to Sister Portia. Shout out to Portia, man. You know, and I pray she get to see her children soon and all of that type thing, you know. Yes, yes, yes. Right. But a good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit. It's impossible, right? When I'm over here talking, the fruit is gonna show it when they fall off the tree and they go out in public and they do their thing. That's coming from this word, these 9, right? These 9 are good. When I do that, that's good fruit. That ain't no rotten fruit. That ain't no rotten fruit right there. All right? That's good fruit. I'm not doing this and it's rotten, okay? This that good tree. Ain't that what I'm giving y'all? Right? How to be merciful, how to be good, how to respond decently to people, even if they're not responding decently back to you and all of that, right? To go out in the streets and lift people up, right? To do things of this nature, to feed the poor, right? From the heart, right? To take your money and blow it for in the name of charity, right? Am I here saying, yeah, I'm the charity, give the charity to me? I'm not telling y'all that, right? Because no, I'm telling y'all, put that out there so that you will have works, so that you have works. Con? Showing y'all how to have works, y'all. And I did this all through the teen years. All through them teen years. That's what I was doing, y'all. That's how I was living. Okay? And I guess the Most High was like, okay, you gonna be the one. Or he knew it before I was even born, you know? Absolutely. But we just talking this talk, you know what I'm saying? Every tree that bringeth forth not. Oh, hold on. Let's back it up a little bit. Let's back it up. Let's get 17. I want to get 17 again. We supposed to been getting 18, but I want to get 17 again, right? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, y'all. That's us. But a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. Back on that again, right? Okay, now 18. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit. It can't. Okay? Neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. It's going to be tainted. Okay? If it's coming off of that bad tree, it's going to be a bad fruit. It's one of them teachings uh, from a false prophet got it messed up, got it in a whole bunch of error, going to roll over on a whole bunch of people, going to roll over on a whole bunch of divine nines, ain't it? Yes, they are. It seems slight, it's not slight. It seems small, it's a big thing, right? And it ain't nothing but like a character trait. And that's why we got to hammer this out all the way down to the character trait, y'all. Your person, who you are, how you behave, how you respond, how you talk, the way you're able to think ahead and not offend someone, right? All of that's fruit. And man, you guys got it. You guys, man, I'm watching y'all every day. And I'm seeing how y'all behave when people come against us and all of that. Y'all got it. Especially you, Ricardo. Right? All praise to the Most High. Especially you, Cashapp. Especially you. Okay? The I am. All right? Verse 20. Wherefore by their fruits you shall know them. Right? Concluding it again. And then it's going to go into some more and tell us more. Right? This is when it says moreover. Okay? It don't say that here, but when you're in the book and you see that moreover, that's what it means. That means it's overkill. I'm just going to keep on going, right? Verse 21. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord. So we're talking about the congregation, y'all. We're talking about people that's Lording it up, okay? Shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will, right, of my Father, which is in heaven, okay, where I had to go and get this, all right, that was heaven. When I use the word sapphire, you could switch that out for heaven, okay? Now, heaven is the whole. It's every realm is there. But in this last day, we would come into the mind, and the doctrine, and all of that, man, and the knowing and the knowledge of the sapphire. Okay, so now we're in specific pockets now. You know heaven now, okay? We didn't know nothing about heaven before. We know our pocket that we belong to. We know our pocket that Christ is collecting us into, right? And it's the sapphire realm in heaven. Where is it? It's located right beneath the Most High, right beneath his feet. Okay? We know that now. We're different. We're like nothing this earth ever seen before. Okay? We know what we got to do and we know where we're going. We know where we're going and how to get there. Okay? We're different. We know exactly what we're doing. Everything is calculated. It ain't nothing that we don't know. Okay? You have an unction from the Lord, it says, and ye know all things. Okay? They can't play with our discernment no more, none of that. They can't send us on no more wild goose chases. They can't do any of that with us anymore. They can't even talk to us anymore. You know, they just be talking along, talking. You know, they be trying to take us on them wild goose chases and all of them scriptures. And I just be looking at them like, man, you don't know what you talking about, dude. You winging it right now. Okay? You need to get down. You need to get your divine nine in line and get that junk up that you trying to do. Right? That trail of worthless precepts that you trying to go on. Y'all better leave that stuff alone. Okay? And I would never say nothing about a brother's effort and what he doing. But if you could look at this and it don't mean nothing to you, and then you want to still go back on that aimless trail of precepts that you pulling out the book that you been on, right, that resulted in nothing and got you vulgar and, you know, mean and all of that, even while I'm dealing with you, it's like, man, just chill on that and just get these divine nine in line, man. Learn about these fruit of the spirit, right? This Galatians 5, man. Learn about this 1 Corinthians chapter 13, right? Learn about this St. John chapter 8, right? This St. John chapter 16, right? This Matthew 7, this Matthew 25, right? Line up with those, okay? This Matthew 24, okay? Line up with those. That's all of that's giving you your final assignment in the earth. It's showing you how to shut the earth down. How do I know that? It wasn't taught to me by nobody who you accredit for showing me everything. Right? Yes, yes, yes. Come on now. Come on, sir. Okay. Right? Verse 22. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord. Okay? Lording it up. Have we not prophesied in thy name? Who's always pushing the name, the name, the name, the name? Right? A false prophet. Ain't that how it started? Come on. Beware of false prophets back in verse 15. Right? By the time we get to verse 22, they crying, right? But Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? You gave us your name, Lord. Right? And in thy name, done me casted out devils. Everything is in thy name, right? The name, the name, the name. They ain't tripping off of that, y'all. You know, when you get that and you understand that, that just shows, you know, how much closer you are to him than other people, the more you know about him, right? Now imagine you sat up under him and got all that knowledge, even know his name and all of that, but you still lack charity, but you still lack it. You were still mean and stingy and everything else. That puts you in more trouble. You might as well, you better, he might have been a little more lenient on you if you didn't slide all up close to him and know everything and know his name and know all of that and still play with him, right? You messed yourself off worse with all of that. Have we not prophesied in thy name, Lord? And in thy name cast out devils? And in thy name done many wonderful works? What works? You don't even know what works are. We just broke them down. Now you see why they failed at this? They don't know what works are. They didn't count. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, it didn't count. Y'all see why it didn't? You shouldn't even have wonderful works in your mouth because you was a bad tree that produced bad fruit. And your fruit was rotten, went down the drain. It wasn't about those. It didn't understand these. And talk so bad that when this start coming out, you had already slandered and built up all of this hate through your whole congregation and everything. And then when these 9 came out, they was just like, you see that? Oh, man. because you should have been a friend. You know? Now you see why I had my experience, and the Most High was like, get away from there. No, don't take them everything I'm giving you. Separate. Get loose. Like I told you in 2008 when the paperwork went bad. Ain't it a trip? I was going through all of that 2018 on my side. I didn't know what was going on over there, right? I had to part to find that out. And when people start calling and saying stuff, I'll never forget it. It was a long speech about that paperwork change and all of that. And I'm just listening for a long time. And my first question was, in what year? What year was that with the paperwork? It was let me see, it was 2018. I said, oh man, yikes, yikes, right? Wowzers. Wowzers. Yowzers. Ain't it? Mm-mm-mm. It's a cold thing going on in this earth right now, y'all. Ooh. Okay? And then thy name's done many wonderful works. What he gonna say to him? 23. And then will I prophesy unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. The opposite of those. They didn't have those. Envying, strifes, right? Envyings and strifes, that's what they had, right? Lies, guile, all of these kind of things they had, right? Fornication, all of that, okay? Thievery, okay? Greed, all of that's going on that side, y'all. And that's all that's going on that side. And it's prominent and it's prevalent and it's strong. It's strong fleshly spirits on the other side of the 9. Oh man, why did they do that? Why did they do that? Right? Ye who work iniquity, you was working sin that you knew was sin. That's what iniquity is. Sin that you know is sin and still kept doing it. Willful sin. Okay? That Hebrews chapter 10:26 sin. Okay? 24. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine, sayings of 9, okay, and doeth them not, I will liken him unto a wise man, right? Oh, that's not do it from not. Let me start 24 over, okay? Scratch that. I do apologize. Let me start over. This is the good thing, right? 24, therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine, these sayings of the 9, and doeth them, I liken him unto a wise, wisdom, right? Wisdom is coming from wise, a wise man, which built his house on a rock. Who is the rock? Christ. That's who he knows. Why he go from that straight into this? Because he's telling you who's gonna know him. Did he not just describe us? Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine, he is the mouth of the mind, right? The 9 is the mind, but when it start coming out the mouth, when the mouth start moving and making sound, that's Christ, y'all, and it makes everything happen. It created everything we see. These sayings of mine, that's what he came and just talked it. He didn't put nothing in place when he came. He came and get the blood to solidify the covenant, you know, he had to come through Joseph and get our blood, right? I had a conversation with some cat called me out of nowhere. I don't know who he was, but he wanted to talk doctrine. I didn't want to talk doctrine. I told him I didn't care, you know. I didn't want to talk doctrine, you know. But he kept insisting on talking doctrine, you know. But listen, if Christ's blood didn't come from Joseph, then his blood does nothing for you being shed for your sins. It's heavenly blood. It could have stayed in heaven, okay? Blood is not of heaven, okay? Blood came from the earth and went into heaven and then was spilled for your sins. That's how it makes a difference for you, because it was Joseph's blood of the tribe of Judah, his lineage goes all the way back to Adam. Now, if you start reading at Matthew chapter 1, it's going to show you Christ's whole lineage from Adam all the way down. Names you never heard of. It's a whole bunch of them, generations, okay? And then it gets to Joseph, and then it tells you Christ, okay? Yes, his blood is of man, okay? And he is the rock that our salvation, which is an extension of the word being saved, our salvation is built on. So Christ just described for you somebody who didn't know him, right? I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. And then right in the next verse 24, he's going to tell you who does know him. That's me, y'all. That's me. But it's not only me. I'm where it starts at, coming back from what I've been through, right? It comes from me. Who else is that? Whoever takes this. I don't know who you are, right? I know who a lot of you are right now, but I don't know who all of you are. I don't know who's going to hear this and pick it up, but I know that this is this word that's in the earth meant to be picked up by men and women to go do who? To go be the Luke 7 and 35s. Because he sent that spirit back. So now you see this, it's going to describe, this is me, y'all. This ain't nobody else, no other time. It's getting back now, and it's spreading from here. Check out this verse 24. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, and go do it, I liken him, right? I'm going to make him equivalent to who? This is the magic words right here. Wise man. What is wise? Wisdom. What is wisdom? Holy Spirit. Mama. Kakamawa. Right? That's who, y'all. The 9 fruits. The divine 9. Yes, yes, yes. That's what it is. Soon as you see that word wise. Okay? And what do they do? Which buildeth his house upon who? Who's the rock, y'all? That's who built their house on Christ, y'all. Those are the works on this tree that ain't gonna never die, ain't gonna never perish. Right? That's mama. That's what the works are. That's what the fruit is, and all of that. What is the fruit? Galatians 5. You know where I'm going. Galatians 5. Right? It's gonna line up the works, the good and the bad. We're gonna get the bad works today, right? We're gonna get the fruit of the flesh too, so we can know what that is. Watch this, y'all. Watch this. Yikes. Yikes, 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 yikes. Ooh, ooh. Galatians 5:19. Man, I wish this wasn't coming out on no Sabbath. This is too fiery and hot for a Sabbath. Oh, I didn't realize it when I was when I was jumping around in the book and pulling this. I was just trying to prove fruit and works. But this is looking ugly. This is looking nasty right here. Right? Man, I hope I'm not defiling my Sabbath bringing this out, right? Oh, I would have kept it. I would have rather kept it light and breezy. I thought I was going to bring out, the sweet, juicy fruit. That's what I thought I was bringing out. But I mean, the heavens had other plans, ain't it? Look at this. I was trying to get the fruit of the spirit here, but hold on, let me back it up too, so we could, kind of get both. Understand the fruit of the spirit and the other stuff, right? Now let's check out these works of the flesh. These works of the flesh, right? Let's check these out. Galatians 5:19, it says, now the works of the flesh. Listen close, y'all. The works of the flesh are manifest. What is manifest? Brought alive. You couldn't see them at first. And what is that? And you're looking and it's going, oh, I think that's, okay. Yeah, now I see. Oh, no. Oh, that right. That's to manifest. It just in stages, it just keeps becoming more and more plain and more clear to you. That's what it is to manifest, right? Now, the works of the flesh are manifest. How? Because we realize it ain't these. We talk so much about our 9, right? That we're ready to hear it on the other side. What's the ones on the other side, right? The other side of the fruit of the spirit. Oh, we about ready to hear those, right? We about ready to hear the enemy, ain't it? Listen, it's going to be manifested. The works of the flesh, right? The opposite of the fruit of the spirit, okay? Now, the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, okay? Married people sleeping around, fornication, okay? Fornication, it's married people sleeping around too, but it's also involving same gender type deals, right? That's that's a second form of fornication. A third form is something with an animal, right? Now that's fornication, fam. Okay. Any type of intercourse that doesn't equal a righteous marriage is fornication. Is it not adultery too? Yes, it's adultery, but adultery is one type uh, of fornication, right? But fornication itself has 3 forms, okay? Married people, okay? Gender on gender, same gender, and something with an animal, right? Three forms of fornication, all right? Adultery, same sex, animal. We got that, right? Uncleanness. What is uncleanness? It's against your 9. Ugh, right? That's uncleanness, dirty filth, right? Repugnance, right? Ugh. How we look at people who eating pigs now, right? Oh, when they bite into that pig feet, and we know everything that pig represents and how that pus comes out from between his toes, right? And you want to eat a pig feet. Yikes, right? That clear juice that come out of your sausage when you squeeze it and it's pus, right? You learn that that's pus. Tastes good, don't it? Yeah, it's savory and everything, Tastes like salt. Don't dirt, Tastes like salt. Toxins. That's toxins coming out of your skin when you sweat. Ain't it salty? Yeah, it is, ain't it? Right? Uncleanness, filth, dirt, right? To not shower, things like this, you know? Uncleanness, lasciviousness. What's lasciviousness? It's a stretch of lust, right? The plain word for lasciviousness, even though it's LAS, right? The original word that it's coming from is LUST, right? To be a lustful person, right? To be ruled by strong sexual desire. What else? Idolatry. Verse 20, idolatry. That's what's on that other side, y'all. That's everything they doing. Idolatry is putting anything before the Most High and what he said and what we know he likes. Okay? When you go outside of that, you have placed an idol up above him. Okay? Don't matter what it is. If you put it before God, it's an idol. Okay? What's next? Witchcraft. Okay? The dealings of a witch. The workings of a witch. What's a craft? A work, ain't it? Witch work. Okay? Lying. You know, that's witchcraft. Fooling people. Mind games. You know? All of that. You know? All of that. Witchcraft. Okay? Working divinations. Witchcraft. Right? The things witches do to get their way and what they want. When you lean on that above the scriptures, right? Guess what else is one of them? Hatred. That's the opposite of love. Hatred is the opposite of love. And if it's the opposite of love, then what else is it the opposite of? It's the opposite of charity. Charity is what's going to tell you get a job, right? Oh, can you help me out with a dime or a dollar, bro? Get a job, right? You know? No, I ain't giving you nothing. I had to work for mine. You work for yours. And then you fall on your behind one day and you look, no, you remember how you treated people when you was up? So no, you can't ask the earth for anything. No, get a job, right? Nah, I don't care about that. I don't look at that. I don't care what you go do, right? If you ask me at least once, it's my job at least once to give the whole world something free of charge. I don't expect anything back. Okay? So you roll up on me, you a stranger, I never met you, probably never see you again after today. Yeah, I'm gonna take care of you. If you look like you about to spend it on some drugs or something, I'm gonna tell you what you want, what you need. Oh, I need this, I need that. Or okay, stay right there. I'll be right back. Right? And I'll go get the merchandise. Okay. Now, if he sell the merchandise, do something with the merchandise and all of that, that ain't my fault. Okay. That's the help, not the sinner. We got to do help, not the sinner too soon. Okay. But that ain't my fault. If you took it and sold it and, falsified the receipt and took it back in the store, I don't know what you did, but that's on you. But if I say no and I shut up my bowels of compassion from him, as the scripture says, right, then that's hatred. Okay. Variance. What is variance? A whole bunch of different types of ways. Not being anchored down to nothing. Right? When we should be anchoring down to these 9, you got a whole bunch of different ways that you deal, and it changes as you go. Right? That's variance, y'all. What is that? Another form of the partiality we was talking about earlier, the dissimulation and all of that, right? The favoritism and all of that, right? That's what that variance is right there. Con? Yes, yes, yes. That's what that is, fam. Differences. right? And all of that, y'all. Discord, you know? Oh, we're different. Now y'all be saying, now y'all see why I be saying I'm the same. I'm no different from you. We're the same, okay? I don't look at you different from me. You are me and I am you. We are not different, okay? Yeah, that's to not have variance and favoritism and you know, that's you're gonna be a respecter of persons. If you're gauging people, nah, we the same. I don't care what I got that you don't have, right? Or what somebody else has that I don't got. You know, once we start a divided situation, is gonna turn, teeth to teeth, No, your teeth are my teeth. We gonna bite on the same thing and eat, right? And nourish the body. You see that? That's what uh the variations are, or the variants. We don't do none of that. Right? Emulations. Right? What is that? The desire to compete with somebody, y'all. Oh, I'm better than you. What I just explained from variance is kind of spilling over into the same thing, but that's to be in competition all the time. I ain't in no competition with nobody, y'all. You know? Nah, when I'm reading this book and this book talk about them, we breaking down the book, right? The book wants us to know what we doing. That's the way we know this from that. And the right way from the wrong way. You gotta have examples, right? I didn't tell them to be the example, right? I told them to be the opposite. If you rewind these videos, right? Yes, yes, yes. I was telling them, nah, don't do that. Don't choose don't choose uh the wrath and telling them, man, don't go that route. Don't do that. Keep the peace, this and that, right? Emulations, y'all, contest all the time. Trying to trump somebody and outdo somebody all the time. I'm so laid back, y'all. I'm so laid back. I'm working at my own pace. I ain't trying to outdo anybody, right? If I see something uh in lack and it's in need, I'm trying to pull up, y'all, right? I'm trying to do this Passover right now. Why? Because you don't have one, right? I'm not taking anybody from anybody else's Passover. No, I'm trying to work for the people who don't have one, you know? And we can very well bring this together, right? If y'all got the faith of a mustard seed and y'all believe, you know, uh, we could definitely come together and do this. All you got to do is hit that email address and let us know where you are, and let us know how many is in your party, how many you're going to be bringing with you, and leave us some personal information to contact you with, right? And it's a free event. It ain't gonna cost you nothing. All you got to do is pull up, right? And if you don't trust us, I know that we ain't got our nine that far in line, and some people could come play games, try to put some in the food or something like that. So bring your own side, right? Cook your side at home and bring it. We're gonna provide the lamb and the bitter herb. That's gonna be cooked right in front of you, right? Just for your comfort, because we care about you. We care about how you feel safe, right? And to cut anything down if we get any jokers or foolish people, coming through or something like this, while we don't know these cats, because we coming together for the first time with all of this and all of this. So that's just for y'all who need to be comfortable in that way, you know. And I don't want no problems. I don't want no weirdos popping up, try to done something, you know, to their side that they're bringing or something. So bring your own side, and get you a good piece of that lamb. It's gonna be some cool lamb. It's gonna be enough, for you to have a nice plate or two. Come get your slice of ham. I mean, what I say? So slice of what? Get your slice of lamb, okay, and put it with your side. Go sit down with your family and eat. Y'all come together. Y'all sing songs. Y'all gonna play some music, right? Y'all gonna eat, right? And we gonna get to know each other. You're gonna look around. You're gonna know these people. You're gonna know half of them from the church. The other half you ain't gonna know. But guess what? Going forward, y'all got the team. Y'all could go forward seeing each other every Sunday, okay? Because we staying home on Sabbaths. Okay, we don't do nothing on the Sabbath. We stay home, we kick our feet up, we take multiple naps, we do a whole week, we break open our Bible 5 times, right? And read a little bit of here, read a little bit there, right? We pray a few times, on the Sabbath. We are real Sabbath keepers, right? We're not Sabbath keepers who wake up on the Sabbath and we're gone, and when we get back, it's dark, right? And then went and congregated and gathered some. Nah, we honor the Sabbath, right? We remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. Okay. Uh Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8, right? We're Sabbath keepers. So y'all gonna be coming together, Father willing, on Sunday. That's family day any day. I mean, that's family day anyway, right? And then y'all could pick another day or two out of the week where y'all come together and probably hit the block, you know, things like this, whatever you want to do. But yeah, we're gonna bring it together. Once we bring this thing together, I'm telling you, it ain't been no congregation like this. It ain't been one. Okay. This is the one that's coming out of there, you know? Yes, yes, yes. And it's a big deal. The smallest little rolling over, that you do to a brother or sister, we like, hold up. That's not the nine, you know? So, and we're all adults. We know how to act. We know what to do and what not to do. We know what hurts people, you know, and all of that. So, can you see how, man, everything is already cut out? We mama's children. So everything is pretty much already cut out, y'all. you know. But this is what's going on the other side, right? Emulations. What's next? Wrath, where you tear up the furniture, right? Where your face is red and veins popping out your head, right? Wrath, rage, right? What else? Strife, battling back and forth, right? Seditions. What is seditions? It's coming from seducing, right? Sedition, seducing, right? Using wickedness and winning your brother over with it. And now you got two wicked brothers because you didn't taught them some wickedness. Now both of y'all are doing it. You're teaching somebody how to sin cleverly, right? And that's what they killed Christ for saying he was the Son of God. And, all of the laws that they saw him rolling over with love, okay, which was the whole reason for the law, okay. So he was still in line with love, even though that what they thought they saw was a law being broken, right? They're nourishing their bodies, going by just grabbing a piece of corn out the cornfield, right? And eating that corn to nourish their body. They're going to go do the work. They're going to go help people, save people, do little things like this, right? Cutting across a cornfield, you know. Was they do? Does that mean throw the whole Sabbath away? No, they did that for that one Sabbath. You know, how many cornfields did they go through? So you can't take that and break every Sabbath, right? What is that? If you do that, sedition, okay? And that's what they got him for. But they missed what he was saying. He wasn't saying break every Sabbath, right? Wasn't what he was saying. Kept 85 times in the book of Acts, right? Book of Acts. Christ is gone after when the book of Acts hit, right? So they didn't throw the Sabbath away. Okay? They didn't throw the Sabbath away. Good night, Cashapp. Shalom. I understand or yeah, enjoy your Sabbath, Fox. That's what we're supposed to do for the Sabbath is rest, right? Definitely go get your rest, my brother. Love you, right? Okay, that's sedition, y'all. Teaching them to do wrong, seducing them into doing wrong, right? And heresies. What is heresies? Rolling over on those. Oh, no, that's not right. That's what the heresy is, y'all. Oh, no, you could do this. You know, go ahead, roll over on your brother and your sister, right? To teach against what the heavens is teaching, right? To teach against the doctrine that heaven is bringing and to make it something earthly and in the world and, for your own personal, manly, fleshly, earthly gains and things like that, to pollute a holy doctrine and make it something of earth and filth, right? That's heresy, to break a brotherhood, you know, when a brotherhood has an understanding and you're going to sneak behind the brotherhood back and turn it into something else for your own gain, right? That's a heresies and heretic behavior, right? Everything they accuse brothers for, uh, when they be wrong in the first place. So you didn't did what was right, and they calling it heresy and dumping you off, right? And these false prophet congregations, right? They didn't even know. They don't, man. They just so quick to out somebody. Mm-mm. Verse 21, envyings. That's on this other side, y'all. Envyings, murders, okay, drunkenness. Don't get too faded, y'all. Okay, that's on the other side of the fruits, right? Revelings. What is revelings? Partying, y'all. Loud music and alcohol. Okay, that's a reveling, a block party, right? A public party of drunkenness and dancing and music. Okay, that's a revel. That's a nightclub. Okay, you ain't supposed to be up in there, right? Bars and stuff. You not supposed to be up in there, y'all. All right, and such like anything like it, you know, loud music, anything such like it. That means anything like that, because some people will be like, oh, well, this ain't no club or no bar. Is it loud music there? Are y'all dancing? Are you drinking? Are you faded? Are you doing other drugs? Okay, well, that's such like. Okay, don't be up in there. Go home. Look around, see that. Sometimes you stumble into something, right? You think it's nice and innocent. You stumble in. Oh, whoa, wait a minute. Loud music. We're drunk. We're dancing. Okay, I gotta go home. Right? Get on up out of there. You see women dressing half naked. You see men trying to, you know, you see them people who mean trouble. They leaning up against the wall. They not dancing. They looking for a problem. You know, get up out of there. Go home. Sometimes you look up or by accident you on a place you didn't know you was going somewhere like that. But you look up and it's like that. And you got to be wise enough, right, to get up out of there and go home. Right? And such like of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past. Right? I'm telling you now, and I've told you before that what? That they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. Okay? Partiers, clubbers, you doing that kind of stuff, drunkenness, murder. That's why murder's in there. Cause ain't that what happened in the parking lot on y'all way home? Yeah, you was eyeballing people up in the club trying to see, you know, different little things, different little words was exchanged, and you knew right there, yeah, I'm smoking him in the parking lot, right? And then you see him, right? And you get him. Why? Envyings, right? That's how verse 21 starts. You know, you see a guy, you know, he's better looking, and the girl that you had your eye on, she likes him. You know, envyings, y'all. It leads to murder. Why? You was drunk. You had that courage juice in you. That's that drunkenness, right? Revelings, partying, you partying. If you was partying, you know, that's what you went for. That's what you left your house thinking you was gonna go do, right? And then here you are supposed to be a man and woman of God. You done found yourself mixed up in there. You better go home, right? And such like. Of the which I tell you before, I told you this before, as I have also told you in time past. All right? I told you in the past. You know, I'm telling you again that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God, right? So that's the end of the negative side. Now we get the proper side, and it's going to tell you what we should be on, y'all. This is how we get our 9. It's the opposite of all of that, right? 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is what, y'all? Love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, and temperance, y'all. Guess what? Against such, there is no law. If you do this, you are so within the law. There is no way you can do these and break a law. That's what it's telling you. In these, you have fulfilled your law. That's fruit. That's work. The work of it is what? When you're showing it. You're showing that. You're a worker of that. But guess what? You're already there. You already have your fruit. It's already complete. You're already done. You already got the juicy bite. It's there. But when you're working it, that's for the other person. You already got the fruit. You're done. You're perfect according to the heavens, y'all. Against such, there is no law. So guess what? You slip up, you do something wrong, right? One of your techniques is off through your work, through your 9. Guess what? Oh, my bad. Just like that, it's gone. That's the repentance that this book is forgiving, y'all. It's not talking about all of this willful sin going on that we think that we're going to be forgiven for. No, that's talking about you performing your fruits and slipping and doing something wrong, and then uh, apologizing and getting it right, and getting your love, joy, peace, long suffering, getting it right with that person that you messed it up with, right? Because you know these 9, and you're trying to perfect your 9. Sometimes you're gonna slip as you perfect it, right? And then you fixed it with this person. You're just as perfect as if you didn't mess up. Now you see that? Against such, there is no law, and that's the fruit, y'all. You're perfect already, right there. It's done. It's a done deal. Okay? That's fruit. And that's the work of the fruit. Okay? Glory be unto the Most High. Now we got to have them talk to us about that. When you have that, then talk to me about works, 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 works. Okay? The chapter that sums the whole book up and will sum that up. 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels and have not charity, I become a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. 2. And though I have the gift of prophecy and I understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have the faith right? Though I have all faith so that I could remove mountains and have not charity, I am a sounding or my fault. I am nothing. It is, right? I am nothing. Verse 3. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned and have not charity, it profiteth me nothing. It ain't gonna do me no good, right? 4. Charity suffers long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, right? We heard a lot about envying tonight, haven't we? There it is. We heard a lot about pride tonight, ain't it? And going back and forth and fighting, right? Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up, okay? 5, does not behave itself unseemly, does not scream, argue, cuss people out, come to the knuckles, knuckle up. You know, what's the third stage? You pick up some type of weapon, right? You are unalive people. You M word them, right? MDR, right? You do all of these type, right? All of that is behaving unseemly, slandering people, hurting people feeling, right? Being the scorner, that's behaving unseemly, right? The scornful, we heard something about tonight, right? Here it is right there, right? That's behaving unseemly. Seek if not her own. You selfish, right? All of that, the opposite of charity. What was the opposite of charity? Hate, right? That's seeking your own. You're going to take yours, you're going to roll over on everybody else, right? Every man for himself. You hungry? Too bad. Go to work, right? That's seeking your own. I ain't giving you mine. Seek if not her own. Nothing's mine. Share it all, right? It's not easily provoked. It's going to take a whole lot to get you acting a fool, right? You're going to fight. Oh, you're going to fight hard before you start flipping out and doing what everybody does easily. When they're being when they are easily provoked, not you, right? Think of no evil thoughts, right? My thoughts are the best for you, even as we're in it with each other, right? I'm not wishing no bad on you. Verse 6, rejoice if not in iniquity, but rejoice if in the truth, right? We read a little bit about iniquity too, didn't we? Yeah, ye who work iniquity. Rejoice not in iniquity. That's the same verse. That's the same thing that's going to make Christ say, he does not know you. And according to 25, what is that? How you treat the brethren. You knew it was wrong to not take care of the brethren or to roll over on the brethren or to disrespect the brethren or to spite the brethren, right? Or to defraud the brethren. You knew all of that was wrong, right? The things that you allowed the brethren to see you doing so that they could think it's cool and go sinning too. That was wrong. That's iniquity, right? Iniquity is what made Christ say, get away from me, ye who work iniquity, right? I know you not, right? Who are you? I don't know you. Get away from me, you worker of iniquity. That's what Christ is going to tell these people in Matthew chapter 7. Who? The false prophet and all his fruit, right? When we rewounded a few verses, he was talking to the false prophet, wasn't he? And he said, the tree that fall off his fruit, or the fruit that fall off his tree is him as well, ain't it? And then he went right into them crying about the name and the wonderful works and casting out the devils in thy name. Everything was in thy name, thy name, thy name, right? He told them, man, get it, man, y'all ain't it. Who were they? The people who stayed in the synagogues, because his children left the synagogues, right? John 16 from the top, right? Verse 2, they shall put you out of there, right? You coming on up out of there. His children who he was talking to, right? Rejoice not in iniquity, but we going to rejoice in what? What was coming? What was the other side of that, y'all? Was it not truth? This is the chapter of the whole book, y'all. Who was he sending? The spirit of truth, right? What's going to set us free? What's going to set us free? Right? Truth shall set us free. Ain't it? Yes, yes, yes. Same thing, y'all. That's who? Mama. right? She's the spirit of truth. We rejoice in her. That's telling us that we are children of the nine, right? We got our divine nine in line, right? We are the children of Luke 7 and 35. We rejoice in the truth. Beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things, right? 8, charity never fails. But whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away, right? 9, for we know in part and we prophesy in part. 10, but when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. 11, when I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. What's childish? Everything that ain't charity. Everything that ain't these divine nine is childish, right? And that's what the rest of the book is telling us. I don't care where we are. I don't care where we at. Wherever, whatever part we're reading is going to co-sign that, right? It's telling us what's important right here in this chapter, right? And the last word of this chapter is going to end with it, and it's called charity. Everything else, it dissed, right? And when we look in this book, the rest of it, it's dissing too. When it put love up there and when it put charity up there, nothing is stronger than it, right? Verse 12, for now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know, even as also I am known, right? But then shall I know, even as also I am known. Verse 13 tells us, okay, for now abideth faith, hope, charity. These three, right? But the greatest of these is what? Charity. Charity. Charity, y'all. All praise it to the Most High. Let me see charity in the chat if you're still awake. All right, on our way out, let me see them charities. Show me them charities. Okay? Show me them charities. Show me them charities. All praise it to the Most High. Charity, 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 charity. Glory be unto the Most High. Right? Oh, that word is your everything right there, y'all. That one word right there. That's your ticket into that realm that I went in. Okay? That's your ticket into the heavens. Okay? That's your ticket for Christ to know who you are when he lays his eye upon you. Okay? He's gonna say, oh yeah, I know him. He ain't gonna tell you he don't know you and to depart from him, you worker of iniquity, right? And guess what? The person who taught it to you ain't no false prophet. Okay. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Glory be unto the Most High. I love y'all so much. I am right, and Shabbat Shalom and all of that, and all praises to the Most High, y'all, and whatnot. You know, give the Most High a higher all the praise, all the honor, all the glory. And let's put this on the screen one time, right? Put this on there, okay? Chime in and sign in, y'all. Okay? And get your tickets. Or man, we don't even got no tickets. We're not talking about tickets. Hit what you call it, hit the email, all your information that you need on this flyer, right? Glory be to the Most High, right? If you see that, Saturday, March 14th is going to be the Passover. New Year's being February 28th, right? March 14th, right? And the time will change depending on where you are. But if you guys would, please get off in there. Get in there before March 7th, right? So we can account for everybody. We can make sure we go get y'all enough lamb, right? I will announce on March 7th, I will announce everybody that's going to be having a Passover. So you guys, make sure you get in that email. Let us know how many you're going to be bringing with you in your location. We're going to tally all of that up, okay? Pass this word. Pass this word around out there. Try to help bring your number forward. Any brews you know that's colt free, you know, that you know of them, pass them this. And, you know, try to do your part and make sure y'all have a Passover. If not, y'all going to be sitting home watching everybody have fun, right? Sharing all their pictures and videos in your face. You're going to be like, man, right? That don't feel good. You know? This is not just in California. This could be everywhere you are, okay? And all praises be to the Most High, you know? But shalom, y'all. We'll talk more about this later. Y'all enjoy y'all Sabbath, right? I love y'all. Let's get our Divine Nine in line. And we'll talk soon. Shalom. Y'all see that? Kapow. Y'all see that? That's a realm, y'all. That's a pocket in space. And guess where it's located? Beneath the Most Highs. The Most High stands on that, right? That is a perfect work of sapphire, as onto a sapphire stone is what that is. What you're looking at right there, right? Oh, if you see that, if you should lose your flesh and you go drifting into that, let me tell you, right? Exodus 24 and 10. Let's go there. Let me stop a moment real quick and just give it up to the realm, y'all. Let me just show you that reward one time. And they saw, and who saw? Me and all of them other souls that was in that place, right? Let me see if I could do something. I'm going to just, and they saw, and who saw? All these souls right here. That's made up of souls. Those lights. The further you come out of it by yourself, you turn blue. But the deeper you go in there, that cluster right there in the middle where it's bright, that's still us making that.